Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to Racing Action for this Monday evening from Grand River Raceway. Our first race will go to post in approximately 20 minutes. Track condition will be listed as fast. Kind of cloudy skies overhead, but hopefully things will be fine. You do see that the sun is shining on the track, though. And we have, at this point, a fast track. Let's get a look at the changes on this evening's card of racing. Note race one will go as programmed. No changes, race one. In the second race, number 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle, Bob McClure will drive. Bob McClure will drive number 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle. Race number 3, number 7, Rose Run Excalibur, the driver to be announced TBA on the 7 and the 3rd. The fourth race, number 4, Mostly Dally, driver to be announced 5, Mock Mine Blue, the driver Colin Kelly. Colin Kelly will drive number 5, Mock Mine Blue. And number 6, Mob Rebel, has a missing chart line from the 11th at Hanover and was a winner in 159 and 2. A winner, Gagnon, 159 and 2. Number 6, Mob Rebel in the 4th. And race number 5, 1, Riddle Me Miss, a driver to be announced, TBA on the 1. Number 3, You Can't Have It, well, has a couple of equipment changes. It is blinkers to blind bridle, blinkers to blind, and a shoe change, flip-flops to steel up front, flip-flops to steel up front. And note that number 4, Fluff Me Up, has a missing chart line, finished 7th in 2 minutes and 1/5, finished 7th, 2 minutes, 1/5. Race number 6, number 1, Livin' on a Dream, has an equipment change, and it is blinkers to blind bridle. That is blinkers to blind bridle. Number 6, AJ Knight, is scratch 6, AJ Knight. And number 9, Hold Thumbs, the driver will be Jason Ryan. Jason Ryan drives 9, Hold Thumbs in the 6th. Race number 7, number 2, Diamonds Are Twine, driver to be announced, TBA on the 2. Scratched is 3, Lady Oxford. Race 7, scratch 3, Lady Oxford. Race number 8, number 7, I'm Kiera. The driver will be Steve Byron. Steve Byron drives 7, I'm Kiera. And number 8, Seal the Dark. The driver will be Travis Cullen. Travis Cullen drives 8, Seal the Dark. Ninth race, number 1, Custom Cut, the driver to be announced, TBA on the 1. And also note, no Lasix for 1 Custom Cut. Custom Cut, not on Lasix. And the 10th race has no changes. Once again, reviewing races 1 and 2. Race number 1 has no changes, and the second dash, number 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle, Bob McClure will drive. It is now 15 minutes to post time to welcome in our co-host for Racing Action and handicapping expert, Robert Reed Jr. And Robert, I always ask you about your harness racing weekend, and I imagine this past weekend you had your eyes on a lot of harness racing action.
Yeah, it was an amazing weekend for sure. I had the privilege of being part of the North America Cup broadcast at Mohawk Park alongside Monique Veg, the Parlay Queen, and Randy Waples, and had a great seat for all the action. It was truly an amazing night that I will never, ever forget, and capped off by the victory by Desperate Man. And what an amazing story he is for all the connections, winning the North America Cup. I wouldn't say he was an unlikely winner. I actually liked him quite a bit. He was my second choice in the race, but of course, Bulldog Hanover going down as the big favorite. But in any event, it was an amazing North America Cup, and really just an incredible evening of racing from top to bottom that, again, I'll never forget. So I just had such a amazing time on that broadcast, Gary, and really there was really nothing else that could top it all weekend, and probably not all year for me, because that will always be my favorite night of harness racing action. But we're here tonight now. It's Monday. It's Marvelous Monday here at Grand River Raceway in Elora, Ontario. And we've got a great card for you because we've got two divisions of the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotting colts. We also have a preferred 3 that finishes off the card. So nice card, top to bottom, with great harness racing action. And of course, we always get started off with that guaranteed pick 5 in race number 1. The pool is always guaranteed at $2,500. I just checked. We're almost at $2,000 already. So we're going to blow right through that guarantee and have a real nice pool for you once again. We'll be back in just a few moments, Gary and I, to map out our suggested tickets.
The Ontario Select Sale returns in 2021. The sale will be held September 26th at Winback Farm of Canada in Inglewood, Ontario. The sale will be live and have online bidding available. It also features first Ontario crop yearlings from My MVP. Sale consignment also highlighted by yearlings from Art Speak, Better Than Cheddar, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit OntarioSelectYearlingsSale.com.
All right, folks. Well, we're about 7 minutes to the opener. You know what time that is? It's pick five time. The pool is guaranteed at $2,500, and guess what? We're almost there already, so we're going to go right past that total. Make sure you start mapping out your winning wagers for this pick five starting in the opener. Gary and I have mapped out some suggested tickets for you once again tonight. Let's take a look at mine first. I'm staying on the economical side, just $7.20. And in the opener, I'm going to go three deep. And you know what? I really do like number three, Armstead Cole. Was hoping he'd be a bigger price than the 8-5 he is right now. I did go three deep, though, using the 2 Renegade Gypsy, the 3 Armstead Cole, and the 7 Archery Sealster. I think Renegade Gypsy actually has a big advantage with the inside and early speed. Second race, three deep again. I'm not going to leave out number 1, JM Sports Fan. I am a big fan of that horse, but I had to go three deep. My top pick is actually number 3, Always Watching. Also using number 5, Share the Moment. So 3x3 to start off. Then just narrowing down a bit, race number 3, we're going to go with the 3 and the 4, HP Maestro. And number 4, Seacan is my top selection. Single in race 4. It's a claiming event for winners over. I'm going to single number 2, Edam's Ellie. I just think the post relief is going to be big for this one. And knocking at the door in so many races, I think, she gets back in the win column tonight from that inside post. Singling that one. And then the money leg, the final leg, 2 deep. And I'm going to use number 3, You Can't Have It. Number 4, Fluff Me Up. Number 3, You Can't Have It. Now seeing some changes on this one, I made him my top selection. But let's see what Mr. Gary Guy has in store for us on this marvelous Monday.
Well, Rob, I did spend a little more money. I spent my usual $9.60. I just always get it up to 48 combinations. And if you're right about the first race, then I'll already be out because I have the 2 and the 7. I do think that 2 Renegade Gypsy is a strong one in there. I also have 7 Archery Sealster, but I don't have Armstead Cole, so I could get knocked out early. The second race, we have a slightly different opinion. I have the inside 3. I don't have 5 Share the Moment, but I do have Ms. Megan Sparkle, and Bob McClure is added. That could be interesting. The third race, we see the third race the same. The fourth race, you keyed to Edam's Ellie. I actually went 1 Rhythm Sealster and 6 Ma Rebel, so I'm using the 1 and 6, and I don't have the 2. So there's another race where we have a difference of opinion, but no difference of opinion in the final dash of the pick 5. We see it the same way in race number 5. We both think it's the 3 and the 4. You Can't Have It and Fluff Me Up. I think we both have the 4 on top. I have it 4-3 and you had 4-3. So slightly different in some spots, and yet the third and fifth race we see identically. Rob, $9.60.
There you go. Gary, Steady Eddie, spending that $9.60 once again. And I don't have to be a mathematician tonight to figure out how many combinations we have where we can both be winners, because it's an easy answer. It is 0, because I'm keying Edam's Ellie and Gary's going with 2 other ones. So one of us can win. Hopefully one of us wins. But I hope everyone has good luck on their pick 5 wagers. The pool still climbing and currently now at $2,700. Let's take a look at the opener, though. This is OSS Grassroots Division for 2-year-old colts on the trot. So sometimes, these races can be interesting because you've got the 2-year-old trotters, going to a half. Maybe they've already raced on one, but a lot of them have been racing over bigger surfaces recently. I wanted to stay towards the inside of the gate with my top selections. I went to number 3, Armstead Cole. I think that this rookie gelding has been really improving with every start. I loved what he did last time. Closed nicely, 27-4 on the end of it. Before that, finished second to Kipper Whippersnipper. I mean, you see the horses that, he's been just missing to, or, at least finishing strongly to, Kipper Whippersnipper, Lexus Ranger. I just think he's a horse that's really getting better with every start. So number 3, Armstead Cole. And of course, look who's driving Armstead Cole, my man, Randy Waples, who I was alongside on NA Cup night. So that is my top selection. My second selection, number 2, Renegade Gypsy. And why? Well, inside post. Lots of speed, which is going to only benefit this one here at Grand River Raceway. And, you go back and see the line over Kawartha Downs, which is a 5/8 surface, and Renegade Gypsy was the easiest kind of winner. So I think this one's going to love getting back to the smaller surface here, the half mile this time, and that inside post will certainly serve him well. Number 7, Archery Sealster. Love the horse. Hate the post. I see everyone went in that direction. My problem is, I know sometimes horses make breaks. Horses are maybe tired to the gate when you've got rookie trotters. I just don't know if it works out tonight for Archery Sealster. Post 7 in an OSS grassroots event is a little bit different than when he had post 8 in just a 2-year-old condition event. And in that one, he finished 3rd. So, again, my concern with Archery Sealster is strictly the post. I think the horse has a lot of ability. 2 for 6 in the season. Nice win last time at Mohawk Park. Even had a decent finish to pick up a check in a gold. But I just hate that position of post 7. So 2-1 on the board on Archery Sealster. Too short for me, but I do have my pick 5. And then for fourth, number 1, CM Savewell GL. Just one that, gets the pole position, does show a break over Hanover, but I think maybe can just sit a trip and get a piece of it here for Bob McClure. So I'm looking for him to just get away clean off the gate, sit along the pylons, and maybe get a piece of it in the final stages. 10-1, a little bit of value on number 1, CM Savewell GL. But that's the way I see the opener. The rookie trotters will be out on the track shortly, and we'll come back after the post parade, take a closer look at this race with Gary Guy.
Field for race number 1 is on parade. 1 is CM Savewell GL, Bob Glover, Dominic Gladue, and Serge Leonard, and Francois Dupuis, and Ron Kelly. Number 2 is Renegade Gypsy, Mario Bayardashaw for the stable. 3 is Armstead Cole, Randy Waples for Chantal Mitchell and James Armitage, and Grant Watson, and John Bruno, and Cheryl McDermott. 4 is Unresolved Debt, Steve Byron for John Bax and Bax Stable and Marshall Bax. 5 is Ballroom Brawl Boys, Gino Toscani for Herb Holland. Number 6, Marvin Hagler, Mark McQuarrie, drives and trains for Mary Pedden. And number 7 is Archery Sealster, Louis Bois for Marcel Barrio and Gaston Massel. And number 8 is Royal Champagne, Sylvain Filion for Benoit Bayardashaw and Glengate Farms. First grassroots division, 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. We're going to take a look at this field. And we'll start with Rob's first one. Number 3, Armstead Cole and RW driving for Chantal Mitchell. Doesn't have a win yet, but that final quarter in the last one might be suggesting the win could come right here. A good mile in a grassroots, good measuring stick last time out. And Armstead Cole, Robbie, is right now 5-2 on the board.
Yeah, 5 to the board, taking lots of action. Not surprised, really, that he's taking money because if you look at his form so far, made a break in his first lifetime start. His second effort was a real nice closing one, all the way from last at the half, and then a couple of nice on the board finishes. So he is definitely warming up to a win. The concern for me, we have not seen him over a half-mile track. So can he get around Grand River? That's the first big question. If he can, I think he can beat this group. 3-1 now, a much better price, and I think he gets a bit of a post edge on the one that everyone's going to right now, number 7, Archery Sealster.
Now, number 2, Renegade Gypsy gets a post edge on Armstead Cole, and also has the gate speed. Renegade Gypsy probably is the one that fires out, has been on the lead in each of the past 4, and has a couple of wins. Renegade Gypsy, are you more worried about this one than Archery Sealster because of the post position?
Well, for early lead, yes. I think Renegade Gypsy is going to be blasting out of there. I also think Barroom Brawl Boys is going to be leaving too. So I don't know how it shapes up, who gets the lead. Renegade Gypsy should have the lead in this race. We've seen nothing but that from this gelding, and he does it pretty easily no matter what post he has. So from post 2, he's going to be firing. He's the likely leader. But the way that I've seen Armstead Cole close into his miles, I think if he's in striking range, he'll be difficult to hold off.
Now, number 7, Archery Sealster, is a 2-1 the favorite, and certainly you do see some nice form winning at Grassroots, and parked early in that one and still was able to get the job done. Might have to work out an overland trip here because there is speed to the inside.
Yeah, I went against them that effort at Mohawk Park, and Archery Sealster raced really well. And we've seen some nice efforts from him so far. In his 2-year-old season, he's 2 for 6, and he raced well to actually be third here, if you remember Gary, back in July. But I just really struggle with post 7, in this one. I'm just not sure how the trip works out. If he gets into the race, I think he's got a chance. But I'd rather hang my hat towards the inside of the gate with Renegade Gypsy and Armstead Cole, because I think they're going to have a real big pace advantage over this one.
Well, he did get into the race, but as you mentioned, post 8 in a maiden class as opposed to post 7 here in a Grassroots, where when they leave, they'll be leaving with a little more authority. And number 1, CM Save Will, is one that has that inside, and Bob McClure. Bob's done lots of winning over here, this track, over the years, and this one also has got a couple of tours around the half-mile track. Made a break early in one of them, though, the Balanced Image Final to Hanover 2 races ago.
Yeah, that's obviously a bit of a concern, making a break over a half. But the one thing I'd say that's a positive is that he made the final of the Balanced Image at least. So that's a bit of a form reference that might work out in a positive way. And finished 5th last time, only beaten 5 to Archery Sealster. Well, now this time, he's got the pole position, which if he can stay flat off the gate, it's a great spot. But we do know that could sometimes wreak havoc with young trotters. But I do think that at 22-1. I would want to leave him off my exotics, especially in the bottom end of the trifecta and the super.
And number 6, Marvin Hagler, is one I want to touch on because I do think this one has a chance to get a share. Raced well in the Grassroots last time out, and also does have a Grassroots win, a pretty good-looking one by 4 1/4 lengths. Marvin Hagler and Mark McQuarrie, 9-1. That might be some value in there.
Yeah, you look at this one's lines and you say, what has he done wrong, really, right? He's 9-1 on the board right now. The worst finish he's had all season is 4th. He's hit the board in 4 efforts. Was a nice winner in a Grassroots event in Mohawk Park. Maybe Marvin Hagler can deliver a knockout punch here in the opener.
Well, it will be an interesting one. We have a field of 8 2-year-old trotting colts and geldings. The first OSS Grassroots division taking up their positions. Rob has 3 Armstead Cole at 3-1, and I am going with 7 Archery Sealster despite the post at 5-2. But 2 Renegade Gypsy right now is the 9-5 betting favorite. It is CM Save Will on the inside with Renegade Gypsy and Armstead Cole in the center. Unresolved Debt and Ballroom Brawl Boys to the outside. Marvin Hagler, Archery Sealster, and Royal Champagne. It's a field of 8 for the first dash, first of 10, on a Monday night at the river. Here they come. And the field is at the start in the rough, and Renegade Gypsy will get out well. Barroom Brawl Boys down to the inside is CM Save Will. And Archery Sealster is also leaving a bit into that turn as they work their way on around the turn, but leaving on the outside harder is Royal Champagne. They work their way on into the backstretch, and it is Renegade Gypsy who's got the front. CM Save Will second. Barroom Brawl Boys is racing to the outside third. Armstead Cole is fourth, and then Royal Champagne. Still caught on the outside is Archery Sealster. On the inside is Unresolved Debt, and Marvin Hagler is back trailing the field and is well back on past the opening quarter in 28-1. Renegade Gypsy with the lead. Barroom Brawl Boys is racing second. CM Save Will is saving ground and is on the inside filling the pocket. Royal Champagne is racing second over fourth and hasn't seen the inside. Armstead Cole is locked down to the inside fifth, and Archery Sealster is on the outside and also has not been on the inside yet. And then it is Unresolved Debt and Marvin Hagler, but it's Renegade Gypsy past the half in 58-3, a 30-2 second panel breather. It is Mario and Renegade Gypsy the one to beat right now as they work in the backstretch, and CM Save Will has been saving ground all the way. And then racing third is Armstead Cole, and there goes Royal Champagne now. Royal Champagne has popped to the outside and will get cover. Armstead Cole took out from third now. Renegade Gypsy, CM Save Will, And then it is Armstead Cole. And then on the inside, unresolved at Royal Champagne. Archery Sealster is 3 wide, but has to come quite a distance. And then Marvin Hagler on the inside. 3/4, 128 and 3. Renegade Gypsy. Renegade Gypsy. Armstead Cole on the outside is looming. It is Renegade Gypsy and Armstead Cole. Then CM Savewell and Archery Sealster. They turn for home. Armstead Cole as they come on down the stretch rod trying to measure Renegade Gypsy. Armstead Cole and Renegade Gypsy. Armstead Cole rolls on by. Randy Waples victorious. Renegade Gypsy was second. CM Savewell was third. And then Archery Sealster won 58 and 1. Armstead Cole and Randy Waples, and you called it. Didn't necessarily need to get the trip because had that closing ability and was able to close pretty confidently, Rob.
Yeah, this horse has been warming up to this effort, Gary. I've been watching him closely. A big fan of this one ever since I saw that second career start. And last time was actually one of my top selections in that race to Lexus Ranger. And today, the trip ended up working out. It looked pretty bleak for a while, didn't it? Not no one's fault, not Randy's fault. He got away in a good spot, but horses were going park the route on the outside. He really looked like he might never get out there. But when Barroom Brawl Boys, gave in on the outside, ended up, backing up the outside flow, he was able to slip out. And this was easy as pie. It really was. I mean, Randy just showed him racetrack, gave him a little tap, and he did the rest. Renegade Gypsy finishing second, and to be honest, it almost ran out the exact way that I saw the race.
Yeah, you called it 3-2-7-1 also as your top four, so you were wrong. It came 3-2-1-7.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Well, you were definitely right about 3 Armstead Cole, and Renegade Gypsy did what we expect, went to the front and gave a pretty strong effort. We should always remember that the inside horse here gets that trip. So CM Savewell, 25-1. Bob was able to get a nice trip on the inside and got a third at 25-1.
Yeah, and we know Bob McClure knows this track very well, and my biggest concern with that one was just staying flat off the gate. As soon as that happened, I said, you know what, he's going to get a big share of it. I thought maybe Archery Sealster would get up, for third at the late stages there, but CM Savewell GL hangs on for third. Should add some value to both the try and the super.
And there was nothing wrong with the effort from Archery Sealster. Actually had to do a lot of work.
Yeah, I can't fault Archery Sealster at all, but, going into the race, Gary, what I kept mentioning, post 7, it's different. When there's not a lot of speed on the inside, it can work out. But it looked like a race where there'd be a lot of horses leaving, which leaves you in no man's land.
Back in front of us is the winner of race number 1, the first grassroots division. It is 3 Armstead Cole, a 2-year-old Johnny William Bay Gelding, owned by James Armitage and Grant Watson and John Bruno and Cheryl McDiarmid. Chantel Mitchell is the trainer. Randy Waples, RW with the winning drive. It is the first win for Armstead Cole, 158-1. The first race payouts 3 Armstead Cole, 780, 330, 320. 2 Renegade Gypsy, 270, 250, and 1 CM Safewell, 360, $2 exactor, $15, $20 try, $47.50, superfecta, 132.35. Fans, here are three driver changes. Note in race number 4, mostly Daly, Travis Cullen will drive. Race 4, mostly Daly, Travis Cullen. In race number 5, 1 Riddle Me Miss, it'll be Robert Shepard. Robert Shepard drives 1 Riddle Me Miss. And in the 7th race, number 2, Diamonds Are Twine, Robert Shepard. Robert Shepard drives 2 Diamonds Are Twine in the 7th. The first race order finished from the top, 3, 2, 1, 5, 8, 6, 4, 7. That's 3, 2, 1, 5, 8, 6, 4, 7.
All right. Well, Armstead Cole getting it done in the opener. Top selection, off to a good start. From a man, Randy Waples, Hall of Fame driver at the controls there to take down the first division of the OSS grassroots for 2-year-old Colts on the trot. And now we move on to race number 2. We've got non-winners of 35,000 life for fillies and mares. And I think this is a pretty contentious race. I went with the 3, Always Watching on top. Has not raced since August the 23rd. Had the 2-hole that day, went to the lead, never looked back, was the easiest kind of winner. And, before that, had raced the non-winners of 2 at Mohawk Park, a couple of golds. And I just was really impressed by the way that she looked in that last effort here at Grand River. And, I usually go to GM Sports Fan, but I don't know what to make of her right now with the breaks she's been making in 2 of her last 3. So I went to number 3, Always Watching on top. I think she should be pointed towards the front once again. And, if she can get there and steal a good breather in the second quarter, she'll be tough to beat. She did that last time, and I see all the handicappers are on board with number 3, Always Watching as their top selection. Number 5, Share the Moment. Interesting one because this is not winners of 35,000 life, and when you look at her last 2, it's against much tougher, really. Non-winners of 50,000, non-winners of 52,500. Even a grassroots race thrown in there, but she's even got a more staler date, I guess, than number 3, Always Watching. So another one where you got to be a little bit concerned about fitness, but Share the Moment is definitely a nice filly in her own right, and I think she's got a big chance in here. Number 1, JM Sports Fan, one that I usually put on top, and it pained me to go against her in here because I'm a big fan of JM Sports Fan, but the issue I have is last time made a break from this same starting spot, the pole position. She got crowded, into the first turn, made a break, and she did something similar actually 3 starts ago from post 2. So a little bit worried about her tonight. I do have her in my pick 5 and in for third, 7-2 on the board. Number 2, Miss Megan Sparkle picks up Bob McClure, early speed. One I think you have to use in the exotics and took a lot of early money, 9-2 on the board right now. But the filly mares are making their way onto the track, and we'll be back in just a few moments to take a close look at this race with Mr. Gary Guy.
Field for race number 2. On parade 1, Jam Sports Fan, Robert Shepard for Isabel Darvaux and Jason and Gordon Redmond. Number 2 is Ms. Megan Sparkle, Bob Glore for Mark McCormick and Megan McCormick. And number 3 is Always Watching, Colin Kelly for Ben Wallace and Wallace Standardbreds and Knobloch Racing. Number 4 is Runaway Errors, Scott Culver, Patrick Bissett, and Gary Stoddard. 5 is Share of the Moment, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen. Number 6, Jane Diamond, Gino Toscani for Herb Holland, and Gino is the owner as well. And number 7, Dazzlin' Rosie, Ross Batten for Dr. Paul Rutherford. Field of 7, race number 2. And let's get a look at this field. And there is number 3, Always Watching. And Rob, of course, we're looking at that last race mile, but the one that I can't get out of my head was that one July the 2nd here, winning by 16 1/4. Yeah, it was against Lesser, but still really jumped off the page. But the next 2 starts after that, a win in 52 and 1 here, and then going to Georgian Downs and finishing 3rd there in 51. I mean, really, that was very impressive for Always Watching, or I should say the 51 line, Woodbine, but nonetheless, Always Watching has been really impressive.
Yeah, no, it was monstrous, efforts from this one, earlier in the summer, and really warranted, her going up and taking on much tougher. And, obviously it didn't work out at the gold level. Had a couple of real difficult posts, though. And then, faced numbers of 2 at Mohawk Park again, made a good account of herself, then obviously crushed a class similar to this one here at Grand River. And, missed a little bit of time in between starts, but I don't really mind it, with her because, she's got that tactical speed. She should be put on the point tonight. And in each of the efforts I've seen from her, this season, she's looking like she's ready to roll, even when, she's had a gap between starts. So I'm on board with Always Watching. She looked good on the track. 3-2, though. That price might keep getting shorter, Gary.
Now, you used number 5, Share of the Moment, for 2nd, and I used that one for 4th. And the reason being, lately has been racing from off the pace. Also, it's been out since August the 16th, so we're talking 4 weeks. We'll need some speed up front, but that could be the case.
Yeah, I think there might be in here because you got Always Watching. You know where she's going. Miss Megan Sparkle's got speed, and the X Factor's Jam Sports Fan. What is she going to do tonight with 2 breaks in her last 3? Because if she ever tries to hold position from the cones, then we might have a little bit of a battle to that opening turn. And and Share the Moment. She's one that can throw her hat into the ring too for that early pace. But being off the time that she is, I'd be more expecting her to race from off the pace tonight. Last 2 against much tougher. And we've seen this horse, Gary, turn in some really nice efforts here at Grand River. So I can't, throw her out of this. And I think she's got a big chance. I give the edge to Always Watching, but Share the Moment could be right there.
Number 1, Jam Sports Fan. I used this one for 3rd, but behind 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle, because I'm thinking that possibly Robert might be a little more conservative off the gate and might open the door for Ms. Megan Sparkle and Bob to maybe get a pocket ride behind 3, Always Watching. Trip handicapping is always kind of questionable, but at least you got to have an idea. Jam Sports Fan, though, certainly is a really good one if she can stay flat.
Yeah, I think that he might have to handle her conservatively tonight because I think actually the spot at the rail for her, crazy as this might sound, is actually a detriment for this filly because we saw her in those 2 breaks here. She actually was the innermost horse on the turn, getting crowded. She made a break. So I just think that, not the best spot for her tonight. I don't know if they really would want to have her gunning in that first turn with horses all around her because she might make another miscue and then, it'd be, off to the qualifiers. So I think Jam Sports Fan is one that can win from anywhere. I just think that tonight, the trip scenario might not work out in her favor. And that's why a horse that I usually put on top, I put in the 3rd spot.
Number 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle, I used for 2nd and you used for 4th, but, Bob Cloris added. Now, I made that pick before Bob was added in. Miss Megan Sparkle's had a start since racing against Always Watching August the 23rd and was 2nd Always Watching in that one and has that extra start, and it was a front-end effort here. Miss Megan Sparkle at 3-1, I think just might be able to get the job done and actually take down the favorite.
The last effort was a good one too, and you've got a more recent start than many in here, right? So she should be tighter. She beat Jam Sports Fan last time. After that one, made a miscue, and I think you're right. I think we're going to see this one leave out. Might even get a 2-hole trip in here. That's possible for Miss Megan Sparkle, which makes her more dangerous. And I'm never going to leave Bob McClure off my tickets at Grand River Raceway.
Well, he showed us in the first race getting a nice trip for his one there on the inside with CM Save Will. And I think he might be getting a ground-saving trip here in this one. I like the idea of Miss Megan Sparkle possibly taking down the favorite, but still Always Watching has to be the one that we would like the most here. 9-5 actually seems fair. I thought it might be lower than that. We'll see how things unfold. Jam Sports Fan, Miss Megan Sparkle on the inside. Always Watching, Runaway Eras, and Share the Moment in the center. On the outside, Jane Diamond and Dazzling Rosie. Field of 7 for the second race. Field of 7 for the second into the stretch drive. There at the start of the rough. Miss Megan Sparkle and Always Watching striding out. Jam Sports Fan relaxed away a bit on the inside, and Runaway Eris is racing on the outside. And then it is back to Share the Moment, and Jane Diamond and Dazzling Rosie, Always Watching, has the lead as they race on to the opening quarter. Miss Megan Sparkle is second, Runaway Eris third. Jam Sports Fan is fourth, and then Share the Moment and Jane Diamond and Dazzling Rosie is trailing the field. Always Watching's the one we're watching on top, and now Miss Megan Sparkle is going to move up and close up that pocket gap and is about a length and 3/4 off the leader, 27-3 the opening quarter. Runaway Eris is third. Jam Sports Fan is racing fourth, and then it is back to Share the Moment and Jane Diamond and Dazzling Rosie. They race their way off the turn. They come on towards us. Always Watching. Ms. Megan Sparkle is Always Watching from a length and a half back off that quarter of 27-3. The half is 56, and they work their way on past the 5/8 on the inside third is Runaway Eris, and then it is Jam Sports Fan who's popped to the outside and giving cover to Share the Moment, who's moving on the outside as well, and then back to the trailing pair, Dazzle and Rosie and Jane Diamond. It is Always Watching as they race on down the backstretch. Always Watching. Miss Megan Sparkle's been getting the trip. Jam Sports Fan is coming to call first up now, and Share the Moment is racing second or fourth, and then Runaway Eris. 3/4 in 125. Always Watching. Jam Sports Fan gets a little closer to the outside, and Ms. Megan Sparkle is waiting for the passing lane, and then Share the Moment and Runaway Eris. The field turns for home. It is Always Watching and Ms. Megan Sparkle. Always Watching on down the stretch drive they come. Always Watching has got this one sewn up, and then for a second it is between Ms. Megan Sparkle and Share the Moment, and then Jam Sports Fan was fourth, 154-4. Always Watching was actually stayed at 9-5, Rob, which seems like a pretty nice price considering Always Watching really made it look like she was every bit the best in there.
Yeah, it's more than a fair price on number 3, Always Watching. And, it's always a good feeling when you have a horse bet and the driver is looking over his shoulder, not worried about the horse that's first over. And that's what happened there with Colin Kelly. And I mean, he was never concerned. I mean, she looked like a freight train out there today, and she looked fantastic before the race, and that's why I noted that because she's one that sometimes that doesn't look that sporty, and tonight she looked absolutely dynamite, 54-4, and easiest kind of winner, and this is a pretty solid field top to bottom.
Yes, and also actually the early race kind of went the way I mapped it out. We'll see. I'm not sure if it's kind of close for second between the 2 and 5, but Ms. Megan Sparkle got the pocket trip, but was no threat to in any way to Always Watching.
And no threat, but we mentioned Bob McClure and gave this one every chance, right? Get away in the 2-hole, sit behind this one, and if she's ever not as strong this time around, maybe you get by. And Miss Megan Sparkle got bet down to 2-1. I mean, pretty crazy that those 3 horses ended up almost the same price, 9-5, 2-1, and 2-1. And your Miss Megan Sparkle though did run second, Gary.
Well, the trip unfolded the way I thought, although I wasn't sure if she was going to stick around. It was pretty close, but she did. But I think we both know who was the best, and then Colin Kelly and this Big Jim, this Always Watching, he's watching Philly, went out and proved it. Always Watching back in front of us. 3-year-old. He's watching Bay Filly, owned by Wallace Standardbreds and Knobloch Racing. Ben Wallace is the trainer. Colin Kelly is the winning driver. It's the 4th win this year, 5th lifetime. Always watching, 154-4. The second race payouts, 3 always watching. 570, 320, 220. 2, Ms. Megan Sparkle, 290, 210. 5, Share the Moment, 240. The 3-3 double, 25.90. $2 exactor, $12.90. Dollar try, $13.65. Dollar super, $43.05. The second race order finish from the top is a 4-2-1-5-3-6-7. That's 4-2-1-5-3-6-7. Fans in race 6A, driver change. Number 8, Watch Party, Robert Shepard. Race 6-8, Watch Party, Robert Shepard will drive.
All right. Well, another dominant victory for Always Watching in race number 2. Your boy RRJR is 2 for 2 on the card. Hopefully we can keep that up, though. So 11 to pick 5, but we got to get through this leg. Race number 3, the second of 2 divisions of the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotting colts. It's also the start of our early pick 4. So if you're not 11 to pick 5, might as well bet the pick 4. Just under $2,000 right now in that pool. And in this one, I went too deep in the pick 5, but I do really like number 4, Seacan. It's hard not to. Last time at a grassroots event over at Mohawk Park, had post 9, got away 7th. Was a long way out of it. Then went overland, for quite a ways before finishing 2nd, beating 3/4 the length of Fight Song. And, I think tonight we're going to see Seacan try to get away a little bit better from post 4 here at Grand River. And I see that 3 of the 4 handicappers here at the river put Seacan on top. And I just loved those performances in the balanced image at Hanover. The elimination victory was obviously a dominant one, winning by more than 11 lengths, but thought he was dynamite in that final on August 28th when he ended up cruising away by more than 2 lengths to be victorious. So my top selection for sure, number 3, HP Maestro, one you've got to consider, has tactical speed, has raced in the gold a couple times and not embarrassed himself, finished 2nd to Duly Resolved on July the 29th, and most recently finished 2nd to Lexus Ranger in a grassroots event. Lexus Ranger's one that's kind of caught fire lately too. So right now, when you look at the odds discrepancy between the 3 and the 4, Seacan even money versus HP Maestro at 9 to 2. Maybe the better value is with HP Maestro, but for me, I still see it Seacan onto that one. But to me, those two kind of stand out in here. They really do, and HP Maestro might have a tactical speed edge over all of his rivals in this race. Then for third, number 5, Evil Guy. We've got the North America Cup winning driver, Trevor Henry, aboard. And, this one, finished 3rd last time to Archery Sealstrand in the grassroots at Mohawk Park. Had post 9 on that occasion. Post 5 here isn't necessarily ideal for this one, but he's been kind of knocking at the door and races, seems to race better in the grassroots than he does in the overnight races. When he might be hooking up against anyone like Kipper Whippersnapper 2 starts back, I'm pretty sure he'd be a heavy favorite in against this group. So I think Evil Guy's one you need to consider, but still a maiden so far, 0 for 6 in his career. I think he's one, though, you have to use on the ticket, 7-1 on the board right now. Number 5, Evil Guy. Number 6, Stonebridge Zeus. Again, another one that's racing relatively well. Finished 4th in the 7-hole last time at Mohawk Park, and it raced really well, actually, 2 back in the Balanced Image final. Ended up, it was kind of in front of Seacan, and then took the lead in the stretch before that rival ended up kind of trotting away from him in the late stages. But Stonebridge Zeus is one that if he can get away somewhere relatively well from post 6, I think he can certainly land somewhere in the superfecta at least. Right now, 7-1 Stonebridge Zeus, probably a bit shorter than I'd like to see. But number 4, Seacan, right now 6-5. The betting public agrees, and I do too, that he is the one to beat in here. But HP Maestro might be some value at 3-1. Might have a trip advantage over that one, depending on how the race plays out. Start of the early pick 4, and we'll come back and talk about it more after the post break.
Field for the third. On parade, 1, a Royal Hit. Robbie Robinson drives and trains for Frank Spagnolo and Joseph Peters. Number 2 is Cacio e Pepe. Robert Shepard for Dave Maneri and Steve Heimbecker, and Alan Alber and Michael Guerrero and Maneri Racing. Number 3 is HP Maestro. Sylvain Filion for Benoit Payot-Shaw and Claudemel. And number 4, Seacan, Bob Clore for Mark Hetzel and Terry DeVos and Peter Porter. 5 is Evil Guy, Trevor Henry for Shannon Henry and Bill Maines and William Krebs. Number 6 is Stonebridge Zeus, Scott Calder for Blake McIntosh and Van Camp Trotting and Mortgage Boy Stable. And number 7 is Rose Run Excalibur. Brett McDonough, Scott McEnany, and Dominic Chiaravelli and Gary Volpe and Mark West Racing. Number 8 is Guinness, Steve Byron for John Bax and Bax Stable and the Cavalier Stable and Going to the Show Stable and Ken Bax. And 9 is Promise for Life, Chris Christopher for Rene Dion and RAW Equine and SNR Racing Stable. Field of 9 for the third. Let's look at this field, and right away, Rob, we get to see Seacan and see if this one's going to be firing out. Bob McClory driving, one that's got a couple of wins on the half-mile track, so we know that he gets around this surface well.
Yeah, and looks good on the track right now. Ears up, scoring down for Bob McClure, and I don't think there's any question he's got to get forwardly placed off the gate, or at least hold his position with the 4-hole here tonight. And 6 of 8 on the board this year. Those 2 wins in the Balanced Image at Hanover, and they were both very impressive victories. And that's why I went to this one on top. We saw him, Gary, his first couple starts here at Grand River, and he raced well in those efforts when Mark Etzel was driving, and now Bob's taken over the piloting duties in the most recent starts, and we've seen this one really turn a corner. So he's my top selection. Price is floating up right now, 8-5.
He's a very alert-looking trotter, too. Looks like he's ready to rock and roll. There is number 3, HP Maestro. Well, look at second in a grassroots back in the middle of July, second in a gold the end of July, and second in a grassroots last time. 3 seconds, but does have a win. HP Maestro should be a main factor. The tote board says so, 2-1.
Down to 2-1, now up to 5-2, and I think this one has the tactical, speed advantage off the gate, and we've seen this one on the lead, numerous times so far in his 7 starts, and if he's not in the lead, he's either sitting in the 2-hole or he's close up in third, and I just think that HP Maestro, is the main danger to Seacan in here, and I think those two kind of stand out head and shoulders above the rest, and we've even seen HP Maestro race against some pretty tough customers, in the gold level, second to Duly Resolved, and even that, third and place and sixth place finish in the Millard Farms. That's against open company, right? That's not just against Ontario Sires. So I think HP Maestro is a logical underneath. Now it's bet down to favoritism at 3-2.
Now, if you're trying not to take one of the top two that we mentioned that are probably going to stay down in low odds, the logical place to land then is 5 Evil Guy and Trevor Henry over this track, and especially with some decent lines on the program.
Yeah, I think Evil Guy is one that's probably warming up to a victory and has raced well in the grassroots, a second and a third, so far, and hasn't raced poorly against the Overnight Company either. And you can't go wrong right now taking 8-1 on the man who just won the North America Cup on Saturday night.
And then we have number 6, Stonebridge Zeus, who also has a couple of tries over the half-mile track and was second to Seacan August the 28th in that Balanced Image final, and also was fourth last time out with Seacan finishing second, so has been at least reasonably in the hunt against some good measuring sticks, and you get an even better price at 11-1 with Scott Coulter.
That was a strong field last time in the grassroots at Mohawk Park, and the effort in the final of the Balanced Image was a good one because he actually did a lot of the work for Seacan before that one came around him to win with ease. So I thought Stonebridge Zeus raced really well on that occasion. My biggest problem with him tonight was just post 6 and where does he get away? What's the trip going to look like? 12-1 is a solid price, and I think if he drew further inside, we wouldn't see anywhere close to that. He was 3-1 in the morning line, and I would say if it was all things equal, he should be about probably 3-1 or 4-1 in here. But I think just the 6 hole is deterring people right now.
Now, sometimes with the young trotters, 2-year-old colts, things can go a little haywire. If there's one in here that we haven't talked about that just might be able to throw in a big mile and score a bit of an upset, who do you think it might be?
I was thinking about that, and with the odds right now, maybe Queso a Pepe, the 2-horse, because you get the inside post to work from it, and you throw out the last one, post 7, ended up having an interference break, and before that took on the Gold for 2 starts, so 0 for 4 in the season, but I think you can forgive his latest, and beyond that, you'd probably say, well, this horse has to have a big chance in here, racing at the Gold level now down to the grassroots, so 30-1 on the board on Queso e Pepe is a big number.
Cacio e pepe. It's cheese with pepper. That's what it is in Italian. It's
you're
pasta.
the master at that stuff, Gary.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it's a pasta sauce, a pasta dish, I should say. Taking up their positions, a royal hit, Cacio e Pepe, HB Maestro on the inside, Seacan, an Evil Guy in the center of the outside, Stonebridge Zeus, Rose Run Excalibur, and Guinness in the second tier, Promise for Life. Field of 9, race number 3. Here they come. Field for the third is at the start. HP Maestro. Seacan leaves out. Evil Guy on the inside. Cacio Pepe and Stonebridge Zeus as the field works around the turn. HP Maestro. Sylvain Fillion has orchestrated a front-end effort so far. And Cacio Pepe went off stride and also astride his Rose Run Excalibur. Seacan on the outside is looking to find a seat, but that seat might be closed by a royal hit on the inside. It is HP Maestro. Seacan still seen traveling on the outside, wanting to squeeze into the pocket and is able to do so. A royal hit is racing third. Those three have some separation on the field now. 28-2 is the opening quarter. Racing fourth is Evil Guy and is in front of Promise for Life, and then Stonebridge Zeus and back to Guinness. And the field races their way off the turn, and they come on towards us, and HB Maestro's got the lead. HB Maestro, Seacan now is right there in the pocket. Here comes a royal hit, and Robbie Robinson to challenge first up. Evil Guy is racing fourth and getting a little closer. Then it is Promise for Life and Stonebridge Zeus, and back for there's Guinness. Into the backstretch off of 58-2 halftime. HB Maestro, a royal hit. On the outside is about a length and a half back. Seacan is still there, seen in the pocket. And now Promise for Life is coming on. Promise for Life now is getting more promising looking. And on the inside fifth is Evil Guy. And then Stonebridge Zeus now has moved up into the action of a half of 58-2. It is still HB Maestro. HB Maestro, a royal hit. Seacan on the inside, a royal hit. Went off stride, and now there goes Seacan. Seacan looking to track down HP Maestro. Up 3/4, 128-4, and it is HP Maestro's dug in, though Seacan. It is HP Maestro's going to continue to march and widen out the lead. HP Maestro is going to win it over Seacan, and then it was Evil Guy and Stonebridge Zeus 158-3. Well, Rob, the four we talked about were the right top four, but the top two were in a slightly different order as HB Maestro was able to take advantage of being on the half-mile track and make every call a winning one.
Yeah, we talked about this one having that tactical speed edge, and Secan, left out for Bob McClure, and we saw that when he was scoring down. We knew that'd be the game plan. He was able to squeeze into that two hole in front of number one, a Royal Hit, and really had every chance. Though, I mean, that's fair and square right there. You get a two-hole trip behind one, and that one trots on from you in the stretch. So HP Maestro was full marks for the effort tonight, and looking at his lines, I mean, he certainly figured he'd be, like I said, one of the top two in here. And I thought Secan might have the slight edge, but when it came down to it, this one was much the best.
Yeah, and also it wasn't like there was a soft half. I mean, yes, a 30-second panel, but still 58-2 on a mile that went 158-3. That's a very solid half for this one.
Yeah, they were rolling. I mean, for a half-mile surface, these rookies were rolling pretty good. So you can't say that this one won, just because of the trip. Certainly, being on top helps, and we knew this one had that speed. But again, real nice effort from HP Maestro and Secan. Not a poor effort, just not able to get to one that was better than him on this occasion.
HP Maestro is back in front of us, a 2-year-old El Sango Dream, Bay Gelding, owned by Clodomel. Benoit by Adeshaw is the trainer. Sylvain Fillion, the winning drive, second win this year in lifetime, 158-3 for HP Maestro. The third race payouts 3 HP Maestro, 542, 42, 44, Secan 210, 225, Evil Guy 340, $2 exact rate, $70 try, $10, $65 super, $32.85. The third race or her finish from the top, 781234965. Once again, from the top down, 781234965.
All right, beautiful shot right there of the Allura Sky, brought to you by our amazing broadcast team here at Grand River Raceway. Well, race 3, our two OSS grassroots racer in the books. HP Maestro, dominant winner, upsetting, slight upset over the favorite Seacan there, but nice win for that one. And his connections, we wanted to race number 4 though, and in this one we've got Philly Mares claimers, $7,000. The condition variety, but this one's on the other side, it's the north side. Winners over $1,499 last 5. And I went to number 2, Edam's Ellie, and this is our single in the pick 5. And the reason for it is, well, I see a lot of tricky posts in her recent form, and now she draws post 2, and she's one that does have a lot of speed off the gate when it's utilized, and I just think it might be, put into play tonight. And I don't know if this group really is the toughest group, and I think she's been facing some that you would say might be more difficult opponents than what she faces tonight. So I like number 2, Edam Zelli, and right now 8-1 on the board I think is a giant size price on this mare, and I'd be very, very surprised to see that come post time. For a second, I like number 1, Rhythm Sealster. Big upset winner last time at this level, 45-1. Sat a perfect trip, ended up winning by 3/4 of a length. And you know what? Pole position tonight might get another perfect trip. And if that happens, Rhythm Sealster might be difficult to beat. So I thought the effort last time, it wasn't just like, sit a, suck a long trip in the 2-hole and, throw your nose up on the wire. She raced really well. And I thought that it was a rock solid effort that, afterwards you look at it and say, well, she had a lot of difficult posts and then got to the 3-hole. Well, now she gets down to the pole position. So I think that Rhythm Sealster is one here that at price of 4-1, not a bad number either. And for me, I'm looking for a 2-1 exacta, which is something we see often here at the River. For third, number 6, Ma Rebel, winner last time, the line that you might not see in the program, winner at Hanover in 59-2, and one that had kind of been rounding into nice form and has hit the board and plenty of starts this season, 12 of 19 on the board, and a nice streak right now for her, landing in the top 3. And 9-2 on the board. Biggest question tonight is post 6. How does post 6 work out? Because we saw her from post 7-2 back, and she ended up getting away in the 3-hole and only got beat 3/4 of a length at 51-1. But can she get away well off the gate again tonight? That's the question. 9-2 on the board. It's probably the right price, if not a shade too short on number 6, Ma Rebel. Number 4, Mostly Dally, one that has taken support and really most of her efforts recently and is still 0 for 10 on the season, but has hit the board in 6 of those efforts. So you can't really, say she's one that doesn't have a chance in here because she's been knocking at the door. I just don't like the fact that she's camera shy. So for me, putting her in the win position or betting her, on a win ticket, I couldn't take 2-1 on her just because of the fact that she hasn't won in 10 starts and she's been close and hasn't been able to get the job done. But I do think Mostly Dally is one you have to give consideration to somewhere in the exotics, whether it be in the trifecta or superfecta wager. Number 3, Lily's Penelope, taking all the money. Right now, a co-favorite 2-1, opened off a heavy favorite. Another one is Camera Shy, over 14 on the season. It's hit the board in 6 of those efforts. And, last time, maybe you forgive it. Post 7 at Kawartha Downs, got away ninth. But, for me, I see their speed there, but a lot of it comes from the pole position or the 2-hole. And I think there's going to be a little bit of a early foot inside of her tonight. So I couldn't get there on number 3, Lily's Penelope, and certainly 2-1, I think, is an underlay on that mare. But I see they're coming out onto the track, and we'll come back and talk about this race a little further with Gary Guy after the post parade.
You have the information.
Field for the 4th on Parade 1. Rhythm Seals her chase and ride for Graham Burgess. Number 2 is Edom Sally, Brett Donover, Taylor Fritz. Number 3 is Lily's Penelope, Scott Culliver, Sheldon Rose. 4 is Mostly Dally, Travis Cullen for Bud Sinclair and Lisa DeRoche and Craig Parrott. 5 is Mock Mine Blue, Colin Kelly for Patrick Bissett. 6 is Mob Rebel, Acclaim entered, Austin Sorry for Terry Gallant. And number 7, Right About Laura, Robert Shepard for Daryl Vleeming. Field of 7, race number 4. Let's get a look at this field of fillies and mares. And first up, there's a look at number 2, Edom's Alley. Edom's Alley and Brett McDonald. Only one win on the year, but 7 of it 11 in the top 3. And was racing well before that try at Flamborough last time out, but that was post 7, Ron.
Yeah, I just think, you look at the post relief that this one gets this evening. I think it's a pretty significant factor here because you got post 7, post 5, post 6. You see one from post 2 there at Georgian Downs, ended up going parked first over before forging to the lead, only getting beat 3/4 of a length. So I think Edom Zelli, should be one that gets away well off the gate, might be able to sit a favorable trip, and obviously she's my single in the pick 5, so I think she can get the job done. I'm just shocked, Gary, that she's 9-1 on the board.
9-1 right now as the money has gone elsewhere. We'll see if that changes, but 3 Lily's Penelope, 3-5. Number 1 Rhythm Silter is on the track right now, and one that added a second win on the year last time out, and it was a good effort here getting a pocket trip. Has the inside, 45-1 last time out. Well, 8-1 now. So I've got this one on top, but I'm certainly not getting value. Rhythm Silter off that last line, though, 8-1. That's not bad.
Yeah, I think that actually is value right now. I mean, obviously you look at it and say, well, 45-1 last time, how could you be willing to take such a shorter price this time around? But, when you look at it, I thought the last effort was a real good one. So I thought Rhythm Sealster would be about 3-1 in here. So 7-1, I think, is an overlay. She looks fantastic on the track as well. I thought she looked good last time and making a similar appearance this time out.
You know where there really is value, actually, is 6 Mob Rebel, because that line you mentioned winning September the 11th this past Saturday, but it was a romping win. Went to the quarter in 27-3 from post 5 and won by 9 lengths in 59-2. The claim is in. Austin Sorry drove Saturday night, driving here. Ma Rebel is currently sitting at 5-1. Be interesting to see if it's the same tactics, because it's a tough post, but that was post 5 at Hanover, and with the claim in, might just be firing anyway.
I think it's got to be the game plan, doesn't it? There's no tomorrow for the current connections. And, we've seen Austin recently, be able to get horses off the outside of the gate as well and get them into position. So I think Ma Rebel certainly has a chance in here. 9-2 on the board, like I had mentioned earlier, I think is probably about the right price, but, maybe just a hair short. Less than what I'd actually, want to get on her if I was betting her to win. But I can't discount her chances. I put her in the 3rd spot, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her win it.
There's number 4, Mostly Dally, Travis Cullen. This is one that comes in with a 5-race streak of top 3 finishes. Doesn't have a win on the year, but hits the board often.
Yeah, I think that mostly Dali's an interesting one because I've seen a lot of those races recently, and she's usually in a position where you think she might be able to win, and then she doesn't. So one that I think is just camera shy, 0 for 10 in the season, but hits the board with frequency. 5 to 1, is probably the right price, but for me, I wouldn't put her anywhere further up than probably third in the trifecta.
And we do have to touch on 3 Lily's Penelope. 6 to 5 is the favorite. Certainly, it's not off the last 2 lines, but before that shows a couple of good miles, and one here at Grand River led a long way before getting caught late.
Yeah, led a long way, got caught late. Black Creek Rosebud, I mean, we saw that one go on and have some really nice efforts, so maybe that's the form reference. But those are from the pole position. Now it's post three, which you still say, well, that's kind of inside, isn't it? Yeah, but the two inside of her are probably blasting out, so I'm just not sure. Maybe she tries to outleave them, and maybe she can, but it might be a lot of work to get there. And for my money, I'm looking at number two, Edom Zelli at 7 to 2, or even your top choice, Rhythm Sealster at 6 to 1.
Lily's Penelope is currently sitting as the favorite at 3 to 2. But right now we do have I have value in one Rhythm Sealster at 7 to 1 on the board. 2 Edom Zelli now has just dropped down, Rob, to 8 to 5 betting favorite. We'll see if you're single in the pick 5. You're still alive, so I'm almost cheering for you. It's a field of 7 taking up their positions. Rhythm Sealster, Edom Zelli on the inside. In the center, Lily's Penelope, Mostly Dally, and Mock Mine Blue. To the outside, Mob Rebel, and right about Laura. Field of 7 for race number 4. Here they come. Field of 7 for the 4th race. Gathering speed approaching the start. There at the start of the rough, Lily's Penelope, Rhythm Sealster. Ma Rebel's got a gun from the outside. Right about Laura, Edom Zelli, and then it is back further as they work on around the turn to Mostly Dally. And racing from a trailing spot is Mock Mine Blue. They race on down the backstretch. Ma Rebel was able to come right out and get the lead and is in front by 3. Rhythm Sealster second, Edom Zelli is third. Lily's Penelope is fourth, and then right about Laura and Mostly Dally. And Mock Mine Blue is back trailing the field as they work their way on around the turnoff. A 27-2 opening quarter. A sharp opening quarter by Mob Rebel and Austin Surrey. That leads about 2.5 for 3. Rhythm Sealster second. Edom Zelli third. Then Lily's Penelope and right about Laura and Mostly Dally. And then Mock Mine Blue. They race off the turn. They're in a line. Mob Rebel and Austin Surrey leads on past the half. 27-2 opening quarter. Halftime was recorded in 56-4. Rhythm Sealster is racing on the back of Mob Rebel, and Edom Zelli is third. On down the back stretch they go. Then Lily's Penelope is on the inside fourth, and Mostly Dally right about Laura. And Mock Mine Blue, Mob Rebel is trying to bottom out the field. Rhythm Sealster, though, is staying reasonably close. It is 2 back and getting a little closer. And Edom Zelli is third. Those 3 have a bit of separation, and Edom Zelli pops to the outside. It looks alive now. And 3/4, 126-1. And that is Mob Rebel. Then Edom Zelli, Rhythm Sealster on the inside, as it is Edom Zelli bearing down on Mob Rebel. Edom Zelli, Mob Rebel, Rhythm Sealster is wheeled out now. And then racing for this Mostly Dally, 3/4, 126-1. Edom Zelli. And on the inside, Mob Rebel. Edom Zelli, Mob Rebel, and Rhythm Sealster. Edom Zelli wins it. Then second was Mob Rebel. Then thirds between Rhythm Sealster and Mostly Dally, 156-4. Rob, well, Mob Rebel did all the work, but all the glory goes to Edom Zelli.
Yeah, Edom Zelli. You know what? Off the gate, it's funny because I thought she'd be blasting out of there, and you could see she didn't have that pop off the gate, but I love what Brett McDonald did. He immediately dropped down in behind Rhythm Sealster, ensured that he would hang on to that third spot off the gate, and that was the key. And Lily's Penelope tried to lead with them and actually outleft Edom Zelli, but because that inside position was that he was able to actually get her into the 3-hole and, kind of lets Ma Rebel set pretty difficult fractions, really, and you can't blame Austin for doing that. Trying to bottom out the field was probably a good strategy, and was able to do it with all of them except number 2, Edom Zelli, who came first over and came around for a nice victory. And our single in the pick five, Gary, we're still rolling here.
Absolutely. And you could also see when Brett McDonald pulled out Edom Zelli, the way that he went by Six Mob Rebel, which was understandable. Also, you could tell that he had a lot more than what Rhythm Sealster was going to offer. I didn't, even as they went around the final turn and Rhythm Sealster was getting a little closer, it looked to me like Edom Zelli had things going to be all her own way.
Yeah, it was interesting because I love what Brett did there. He waited and waited and waited until he could be able to just pull first over and launch her. He didn't want to end up sitting out there and trying to grind down Ma Rebel. He wanted to launch past her, and he was able to do that because the race was spaced out with the hot fractions up front. So a fantastic drive by Brett McDonald. Bet down to 9-5 late though. We saw that value throughout. I was looking at my chops, Gary, but I couldn't get too excited about a win ticket. We're alive to pick five, so 9-5 though. Still a reasonable price on one I thought had a big chance.
It's a 2-6-1-4. Back in front of us is number 2, Edom's Ellie, a 5-year-old sports rider bay mare owned by Taylor Fritz and Brett McDonald. Taylor Fritz, the trainer, Brett McDonald, the winning driver. Second win this year, 9th lifetime. Edom's Ellie, 156-4. The fourth race payouts. Number 2, Edom's Ellie, 573.90, 270. 6, Mob Rebel, 310, 291. Rhythm Sealster, 280. $2 exactor, 22.20. Dollar try, 30.50. Dollar superfecta, 51.25. The fourth race over finish from the top, 3164527. That's 3164527. And the claim of number 6, Ma Rebel. The new owner will be Stephanie Morrison and the trainer Ed Laybourne.
All right, well, Edam's Ellie getting it done in the fourth. That means we're allowed to 2 horses here in the money leg of the pick 5. And, well, we've got the 3, You Can't Have It, paying $40, our top selection. And the 4, Fluff Me Up, paying $35. So $7.20 investment. If we get one of those 2 down, not a bad return. Maybe we can eat off the regular menu and not the value meal tonight if we get a winner down here in the 5th. But let's move on to that 5th race. $8,500 claimers also eligible, non-winners of 850 last 3, and if they've won over 1750 last 5, they are not eligible for this race. So the reason why I went to number 3, You Can't Have It, is that this is a big drop down in class for this trotter. And I'll be honest, I kind of was torn between You Can't Have It and Fluff Me Up. And I know that our director, Christine, loves it when we're flip-flopping picks right before the show goes on the air, but I was doing that in this race because You Can't Have It is one I've been chasing, and I said, you know what, I can't go against this one, especially when I saw the change from flip-flops to steel up front. I love that shoeing change on this one, and I went to You Can't Have It as my top selection. 2-1 on the board right now. One that's been racing well, and now is a 2,500 the last 3, closing into it from out of it. And I think that, he can do it from anywhere tonight. He might get forwardly placed in here against easier, or if he has to come from out of it, I think he'll have a lot easier time running these ones down. And the likes of Catch Canna, Muscle Plenty, YA Muscle Mass, Bastiano, you name it, they're tough horses. So You Can't Have It, my top selection and our best result in the pick 5. Number 4, Fluff Me Up, when you have to respect in here. Another one that is, plunging down in class, facing much easier. He's priced at $8,500 tonight. The tag's on him, so he doesn't fit the conditions. And I think Fluff Me Up is one you have to have here, in the multi-leg wagers. But I'm giving the edge to You Can't Have It. And right now, I like that value, 5-2 versus 3-5 right now on the board. In for third, I went to number 1, Riddle Me Miss. And really, it came down to pole position, and one that I think can just get away, off the gate and sit a trip, and then maybe get a piece of it. And 16-1 on the board right now on this 11-year-old mare, I think, is a decent price. She's 0 for 9 in the season. She's hit the board twice, though, and I would not be surprised to see her get a share of it tonight. It's a pretty, soft group, and I think she's been kind of facing, tougher than these as well. And pole position to work from. Ontario Racing gives this one the nod to win. So I'm not, so sure she should be 12-1 on the board right now. Number two, Thor Sealster, one that you might want to consider for a piece of it as well. 6-1 on the board. But for me, I do think this race comes down to two horses. You Can't Have It and Fluff Me Up. But give the edge for me to number three. You Can't Have It right now at a price of 2-1. But there's just a couple of minutes until the horses will be coming out onto the track, and we'll come back after the post.
Robert, hold on a second, Robert.
Oh,
I gotta inquire with the judges if you're allowed to make your change on this pick, because I think there might be like a cutoff time. Because I have an email from you that says you're on the 4, and then you change it. I don't know. I need a ruling.
This is not the Horse Player's Journal, Gary. This is live handicapping. And I got that change in before the card started. So I think, Christine should be the judge and jury on this one. She allowed it. So we are letting this go through, I believe. You Can't Have It is now my top selection. But I'll tell you, usually when someone does this, it doesn't work out, right? My dad always told me, never change your mind, never change your picks, never cancel your tickets. I guess this would kind of qualify as that. But I did switch my pick to number 3, You Can't Have It.
Okay, my Goomba. By the way, do you know what Goomba is? You didn't know the other one.
What's that?
It's Italian for friend, my Goomba. We'll talk to you in a minute, friend.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, pal.
Field for the 5th race on Parade 1 is Riddle Me Miss, Robert Shepard for Daryl Fleming, and Larry Beck and Don Schuldeis. Number 2 is Thor Sealster, Travis Henry for Natalie Elliott. Number 3 is You Can't Have It, Jason and Ryan for Ron Waples Jr. and Dr. Sheila Atmore. And 4 is Fluff Me Up, Scott Culver, Scott West. Number 5 is Schrader Hanover, Doug Brown for Pam Forkey and Don Schuldeis. Number 6 is Carmen's Fluke, Andre Goy for Dino Fasulo. And number 7 is Spicy Victor, John Farrington for Ernest Party. Field of 7, race number 5, and we'll take a look at Rob's top pick. Number 3, You Can't Have It. The equipment changes, blinkers to blind, and the shoe chain flip-flops to steel shoes up front. You Can't Have It, looking to double his win total on the year. You Can't Have It is currently sitting at 3-1, Rob.
Looks good on the track too, and I really like it when a horse goes flip flops to steel, and it's usually a sign that their feet are feeling pretty good, and they can now put the steel shoes on, and that's gonna be more conducive to this one going a bigger mile. So I think that it's a much softer spot for You Can't Have It. I like the post position. And right now, I like the price of 5-2 versus even money. And when you look at the pick 5, really, we're not getting close to that value there. It's only $5 more than number 4, Fluff Me Up, but you're getting a significant advantage in the price on the win ticket.
There is number 4, Fluff Me Up, right now, and that missing line was finished 7th here, September the 10th. But also, Fluff Me Up has got 3 wins on the year. You Can't Have It's the only other one with a win this year, and that's 1 win, and then the rest of the field is winless. But Fluff Me Up has been a little soft the last 3 starts, but just before that had a good second here, August the 6th.
Yeah, he's one that when he races really well, he's tough to beat, and he can compete at a level how much higher than this. And I've seen this one race really well at Mohawk Park and get the job done, and pretty solid times as well. 38 lifetime wins, nearly 300,000 on his card throughout his career, and he's 1-5 right now. And I would understand him maybe being 6-5 or 8-5 versus You Can't Have It's, say 5-2. I just don't think that recent form warrants him being this big of a favorite over that one. But I do completely acknowledge that this should be a two-horse race between the two entrants that have wins on the season.
Now, on the inside, one Riddle Me Miss picks up Robert Shepard. And actually, Riddle Me Miss in this bottom class here, you don't get a lot in the way of form. This is the only one in the last two races of this bunch that actually shows form. Both of them were top three finishes. All the others don't have a top three finish in their past two races at all, and she has them in both. Inside post as well, and 25-1.
Yeah, the price right now is pretty robust and an overlay on number one Riddle Me Miss, and I do think it's a two-horse race between You Can't Have It and Fluff Me Up. But if there was ever one that might be the benefactor of something was to happen, I think it might be Riddle Me Miss. And like you mentioned, she's the only one that's really showed something in her last couple. She's hit the board two in a row and has the rail to work from. Picks up Robert Shepard. I certainly wouldn't fault anyone for using Riddle Me Miss in the exotics, even the exacta and trifecta, and the win ticket right now really isn't bad either. And I kind of wish I had this one in the pick five, paying almost $260 for 20 cents.
Number two, Thor Seelster, is one that actually had some form. 4 top threes in 5 races before going south. The last 3 at Sarnia didn't work out well. If Thor Seelster could race back to that, has a good post position, maybe could be a factor, but is winless in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Camera shy, and I mean a lot of horses in this race are camera shy with recency, anyways. And Thor Seelster, the reason why I put this one in for a piece of it is you do see a lot of on the board finishes, 12 for 33 over the last 2 seasons. But like you mentioned, difficult to bet this one to win with any confidence when you see that that goose egg in the win column the last 2 years. So, 8-1, I think is probably an underlay, to be perfectly honest. And I would say that my ceiling on Thor Seelster would probably be, third in the trifecta ticket.
Well, it is a field of 7 for race number 5. Christine allowed Rob to switch to number 3. You Can't Have It, 5-1 on the board, but I have the 1-5-4 Fluff Me Up as this field of 7 trotters, 8,500 claiming winners under, is moving in behind the gate. It'll be Riddle Me Miss and Thor Seelster on the inside. In the center, You Can't Have It, Fluff Me Up, and Schrader Hanover to the outside, Carmen's Fluke and Spicy Victor. Field of 7, race number 5. It is post time. Field for the 5th race. All in positions on the gates. Field for the 5th race is at the start of the rough. Thor Seelster, You Can't Have It, and Fluff Me Up the first 3. Riddle Me Miss on the inside. Then to the Schrader Hanover, Carmen's Fluke, and Spicy Victor. They work on into the backstretch, and You Can't Have It has got the lead. Fluff Me Up is racing on the outside, but Fluff Me Up wants to come on down. Fluff Me Up is going to try to clear to the front, and is able to do so. You Can't Have It is second, Thor Seelster third. Riddle Me Miss is racing fourth, and then Spicy Victor, Schrader Hanover, and Carmen's Fluke, and they work their way on up to the opening quarter, and it is Fluff Me Up and Scotty Coulter who's got the lead. You Can't Have It is racing second. Thor Seelster third. Riddle Me Miss is racing fourth. Then Spicy Victor and Schrader Hanover and Carmen's Fluke. They're in a line as they race off the turn off at 28-2. Opening quarter, Fluff Me Up at 3-5 has the lead. You Can't Have It, the 7-5 second choice, is right sitting on the back of Fluff Me Up. Thor Seelster is on the inside third. Then Riddle Me Miss and Spicy Victor, Schrader Hanover and Carmen's Fluke. And they work their way up to the 5-8, 58-4 with the halftime. A 30-2 second panel breather for Fluff Me Up. You Can't Have It is staying right there alert. Nose to helmet in the pocket. Thor Seelster is racing on the inside. There goes Riddle Me Miss now. Moving on the outside for Robert Shepard as they work their way On down the back stretch, and now Riddle Me Miss is moved up on the outside and is coming on gamely. It is Fluff Me Up, Riddle Me Miss. You Can't Have It is locked down to the inside. And then Thor Sealster. It is right now Fluff Me Up getting a serious challenge from Riddle Me Miss. You Can't Have It's on the inside. Waiting for the passing lane, or Ashley is going to come out right now. Riddle Me Miss has now come on to get the lead. On the inside, Fluff Me Up, and now You Can't Have It is set out wide. 3/4, 129 and 4. Riddle Me Miss on the outside. You Can't Have It. You Can't Have It will come on by and win it. Riddle Me Miss was second, and then third is between Thor Sealster and Fluff Me Up. 201 flat. You Can't Have It, and Jason Ryan lived right up to the way you thought he would and got the job done, Rob.
I just hope that you're not going to lodge a protest here, Gary. I know you're a little bit upset that I was able to change my pick, but this is why I did it, though, because first of all, I love the class relief to begin with on this one. I've been chasing this horse week after week after week as a bomb. Now you get down into this real low level for him, and that shoeing change just said, okay, this is going to be the night, because it really promotes speed, right? When a horse goes and flip flops the steal and got away off the gate. Well, I love what Jason Ryan did there. Sit the 2-hole, and he sensed that Fluff Me Up might be getting tired. He said, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to tip wide, and I'm going to cruise to the wire and get my picture taken.
I was a little worried that he might get stuck in behind Scotty Calder, but it was a smart move, as you mentioned, for Jason Ryan. Riddle Me Miss raced really well, but couldn't fend off You Can't Have It, who was really alive.
Yeah, definitely one that's, and again, we saw that price even out, right? We were kind of wondering, how is there such a discrepancy here between the two? And, come post time, they got a lot closer. Still a bit of a margin, but, we talked about Riddle Me This as one that could, maybe get a piece of it at a big price. And, well, guess what? We always talk about there's two favorites. You got to split them. And we split them, Gary, with a nice mare, coming in second there at 21-1.
Yeah, Robert Shepard really gave that one a great ride. So 3-1-4-2. You called it 3-4-1-2. Again, you were wrong.
Gary, I know I was wrong again. I gotta be better, Gary. I gotta be better.
Back in front of us is number 3, You Can't Have It, a 7-year-old Cantab Hall Brown gelding. Owned by Dr. Sheila Atmore and Ron Waples Jr. Ron Waples Jr., the trainer. Jason Ryan, the winning driver. You Can't Have It, Jason Ryan. Ricky Bobby, victorious, the second win this year at 9th Lifetime. You Can't Have It. The fifth race payouts: 3, You Can't Have It, 490, 320, 230. 1, Riddle Me Miss, 810, 360. 4, Fluff Me Up, 230. The pick 5, 5 of 5, 203, 70. $2 exactor is 60, $60 try, 45, 95. Dollar super, 90, 30. The fifth race order of finish from the tops at 241-3567. That's 241-3567.
Nice win by You Can't Have It in race number 5. Slick Steer by Jason Ryan to get to the finish line first. And we got our pick 5 tonight. Get to cash your pick 5 ticket. $7.20 or 20 cents was the cost of the ticket. Paid out just over $40 or 20 cents. Where we played it for $1, just over $200. So hope you played along. Congrats if you had it anyways. And now we're down to the money leg of our early pick 4 and one of my favorite wagers here at Grand River Raceway, the super high five, or as Gary calls it, the pentafecta here in race number 6. Horse and geldings, claimers, the price tag is $15,000. The condition for them, non-winners of $20,000 life. And well, I went to number 3, Blue Monk. And if you remember, just 1 week ago today, I was on this one. And the line doesn't really give his effort justice. It really doesn't, because it shows him sitting the 2-hole and looks like he gets a real favorable trip and then he misses by a nose. But what you don't see is the fact that he actually rolled wide around that last turn. So he was sitting in the 2-hole and then he ends up rolling wide around the final turn instead of staying put. And then the horse that was sitting behind him actually took over his spot and came up the passing lane to beat him by a nose. So, it was one of those snap decisions that gets made. And if it goes the other way, I think Blue Monk wins for fun. So I just think that, the line is very deceptive. He was much better than the line looks. And I think the price is way higher than it should be right now at 5-1 on number 3, Blue Monk. For second, I went to number 4, The Devil You Know, who is taking the support right now at 4-5. Last race on August the 30th here and finished second, beaten half a length. In a similar class, maybe a little bit tougher. And before that was an easy winner. So the Devil You Know is one you have to respect in here. But I did figure that, he would take probably the bulk of the support and Blue Monk would be a slightly higher price. Was not expecting 5 times the price right now at 5-1 versus even money. Number 2, Big Mac with cheese. I've got Big Mac's on the mind apparently. Big Mac with cheese is one that, made a break last time and shows breaks actually in his last 3 efforts. So one comes over to the half-mile surface, did qualify well here on September the 1st, 55-3. That's a pretty rock solid mile here at the river. So that's encouraging that he'll be able to get around the half mile. And we see a win at Dresden as well. But those breaks are a little bit concerning. But this is one that minds his manners, turns in a good effort. He's got a big shot, 7-2. Number 1, Living on a Dream. One I do like for a piece of it right now, 5-1 on the board. Number 9, Hold Thumbs. If you like the 1, you got to like the 9, right? Hold Thumbs is one that I think can also work his way onto that high 5 ticket. 16-1 on the board right now on that gelding. But I see the horses are already moving out on the track for race number 6, a super high 5. And we'll come back and talk about this race a little further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 6th on parade. 1, Living on a Dream. Travis Cullen for Katie Jean Miller and Travis Forbes. Number 2, Big Mac with Cheese. Dale Spence for Mark McInnes and Mackenzie McInnes. Number 3 is Blue Monk. Represented for Richard Moreau and Claude Girard and Gabriel Moreau. And number 4, The Devil You Know. Austin Sorry for Gary Bishop and Courtney Bishop and Leo Fleming and Bill Maines. 5 is Grug Rocks King. Ryan DeBroche for Jeremy Brewer and Jack Racing. 6 is scratched. Number 7, Shifting Views. Doug Brown for Sheldon Rose and Dewey Winham and Howe. Number 8 is Watch Party. It's Robert Shepard for Jay Conklin and Joan Henhock. And number 9 is Hold Thumbs, Jason Ryan for Bobby Joe Weinhold Harris and Joe Squires. Field of 8, race number 6, featuring the Pent Effect of the Super High 5. Let's get a look at this field. And we will start with number 3, Blue Monk. And Rob, both of us have landed on Blue Monk on top. And we've seen some very nice things from this one here this year. And also, Georgian Downs. Blue Monk is one that I got to see up there race pretty well. Blue Monk has gate speed, but this is going to be an interesting race because I actually think maybe Big Monk with Cheese might make it to the front. We'll see if that's the way it unfolds. Blue Monk is 5-2.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe that does happen and this one can get the 2-hole, because I think that's probably the spot that would be nice. And last time, the line looks a lot worse on paper than it was, right, Gary? Because we remember he swung out wide in the final turn and probably ended up giving up a length or two or maybe more to Cutting Class, who ended up being the winner. And that's why I always say you can't always believe what the program tells you. Sometimes you got to watch the film to get a true, tale of the story. So I do think that, Blue Monk is the one to beat in here. 5-2 on the board. I thought others would take support, but again, just based because it looks like that line was not as good as it actually was.
Or I would put it this way: the program tells the truth, but it doesn't tell the whole truth. Blue Monk, 3-1. There is a look at we're going to go first to number 4. The Devil You Know is your second one, is it not?
Yeah, we had him already.
Yes, number 4. Yeah,
I guess we're running behind. Number 4, number 4, The Devil You Know is one that I think shows some pretty fine form. It also has gate speed, might be in a bit of a problem because the gate speed to the inside.
Yeah, I think definitely is one that can do it on the front end or even maybe get away and then come first over. We've seen him win that way here at Grand River as well. I think he merits respect in here and, hasn't raced, did miss a week, but I think you've got to give him, a pretty good chance. 4-1 on the board. The price has gone up, in a hurry on this one with the support that's come in on number 2, Big Mock with Cheese.
You know what I think is interesting with 2, Big Mock with Cheese, and why I say this one might be going to the front. If you take a look at the program, you see a lot of X's. But the 2 times you don't see X's were on the half-mile track, that qualifier here and then a race at Dresden. And what was different with those races, got the early lead and then was able to keep on going. Maybe just won't sit without the lead.
Yeah, very possible and very strange, right? You don't usually see that. You see the other way. Horses make breaks on, smaller tracks and pace better on bigger tracks. But maybe you're right. Maybe he's one that can't really settle, needs the front end. And by all rights, if he stays flat, he should get it in here. 2-5 on the board. Well, that's probably a little, too short for my liking when you see that he's made a break in each of his last 3 starts. So I can't get behind that short of a price, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up winning this race.
Number 1, Living on a Dream, was good last year as a 3-year-old. Hasn't done much this year as a 4-year-old, but he's only had 5 starts. And Living on a Dream, an equipment change, blinkers to blind bridle.
Yeah, and you get the pole position too, right? So blinkers to blind. I would say this one's definitely going to be pushing to hold position from the cones. And, I like the fact too that, you go through the lines there and you're back now into a regular rotation. So I think that, regular rotation for the second consecutive start. So I think Living on a Dream should be better and lightly race this season. But if you're going to look for one to kind of race its best race of the year, I think it might be Living on a Dream. And 18-1 from the fence and the Super High 5, we know what that usually does.
Number 9, Hold Thumbs. I used this one for third, and you did use on the ticket 25-1. There'll be lots of choices, I think, on who to follow out. And Hold Thumbs, Jason Ryan might be able to figure out a trip.
I thought Hold Thumbs might win last time, went first over, and he kind of forged to the lead for, a brief moment before Cutting Class and Blue Monk got the better of him at the wire. But I thought it was still a decent effort, and now, you get to follow out from the trailing post. If the trip works out, think you should definitely have a chance to hit the high five. Anyways, 25 to 1's a big price.
Well, 25 to 1 last week was 23 to 1 and finished right there with Blue Monk, and Blue Monk was second and Hold Thumbs was third, so you'd think should be lower than 25 to 1, Rob.
You would certainly think so, yeah. Not getting much respect, really, especially from a pretty decent spot to start if number 1, Living on a Dream, goes forward off the gate.
Well, it is a field of 8 for race number 6 taking up their positions, and Rob and I are both on Blue Mock, who sits at a juicy 4 to 1 as Too Big Mock with Cheese has eaten up a lot of the action on the board and is 3 to 5. It's Living on a Dream, Big Mock with Cheese, and Blue Mock to the inside of the center, the Devil You Know, and Grugrex King to the outside, Shifting Views and Watch Party. The second tier, Hold Thumbs. Field of 8, race number 6. Field for the 6th race. In the stretch, nearing the start. They're at the start of the route. Living on a Dream will leave with Blue Monk and the Devil You Know. And then Hold Thumbs did well to get out from the trailer post and race into the front 4. Big Mock with Cheese is relaxed away racing 5th. Then Grugrex King, Shifting Views, and Watch Party. Now the Devil You Know wants to come on. The Devil You Know is moving devilishly well right now and has come on to get the lead. Blue Monk is racing 2nd. Living on a Dream is 3rd. And Hold Thumbs holds on to 4th in front of Big Mock with Cheese. Grugrex King, then it is back to Shifting Views and Watch Party. Watches from a trailing spot. The Devil You Know has the lead as they race on around the turn for Austin Surrey. And then it is Blue Monk, and popping to the outside already comes Hold Thumbs as they race off the turn. Living on a Dream is racing 4th, and now Big Mock with Cheese is going to move out and is racing 2nd over on the back of Hold Thumbs, who is advancing. And then it is Grugrex King, Shifting Views, and Watch Party. Up at 28-second opening quarter. Halftime was 58-2. 30-2 second panel. The Devil You Know. Blue Monk is getting a trip on the inside as they work into the back stretch, and on the outside, Hold Thumbs gets a little closer. Big Mock with Cheese now has come on. Big Mock with Cheese is out 3 wide and is charging, and then Living on a Dream and Grugrex King and Shifting Views, and Big Mock with Cheese may have flattened out a little bit after moving out 3 wide, but it is still the Devil You Know who's got the lead. Blue Monk is right tight on the back of the Devil You Know, and then it is Hold Thumbs in 3 wide, still digging as Big Mock with Cheese, and is coming on now. Living on a Dream, and then Grugrex King. It is the Devil You Know. Big Mock with Cheese on the outside, and Blue Monk is going to come out right now as they turn on down the lane. The Devil You Know. Blue Monk, and on the outside, Big Mock with Cheese. The Devil You Know. Blue Monk is charging. Blue Monk is going to come on by, and then it was the Devil You Know. Big Mock with Cheese, and then Living on a Dream and Grugrex King. Blue Monk in 157-2 at 3 to 1, Rob. And, well, Brett McDonald made the right choice and made it a winning one.
Yeah, 3 to 1 is, wow, that's a wild price on this horse. Listen, again, you know, you actually put it best, Gary, and you know what? You have the way with words, and what you said was bang on. You know, it tells the truth, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. And this one last time, it was actually a perfect trip that turned into a difficult trip. This time around, it was a perfect trip that stayed that way, and then he ends up getting all the dough at the wire at 3 to 1. A really nice price on this one here, and you know, you get the Devil You Know in for 2nd, you know, and that was the exacta that I actually mapped out, and that one actually ended up going up a nice price too, at 2 to 1, with Big Mock with Cheese taking all the money at 4 to 5. And listen, that gelding raced fantastic. He made a bit of a skip in the one turn, and then down the backside, he kind of put steps in again. So he's one that if they can figure him out, you know, they probably got a really nice horse on their hands there.
Yeah, he does appear to have a pretty big turn of foot, but big effort too. It spent a lot of time on the outside. The line is it tells the truth but doesn't tell the whole truth, and the whole truth is that Blue Monk was the best one there. 57-2. It's a 3-4-2-1-5 top 5. We got some price horses. Living on a Dream at 19 to 1 to finish 4th, and then 5 Grugrex King. I couldn't find that one, but did find the ticket, Rob.
Yeah, Grugrex King is one, you know, we've kind of, you actually liked this one in the past, but his form's kind of been off, so, you know, he now gets a share tonight, might add a little bit of value to the ticket, and Sorry, I did mess up your line there, but I kind of like mine too.
Okay, well, I don't. 34215. Back in front of us is number 3, Blue Monk. A 3-year-old up the credit bay gelding. Blue Monk is owned by Richard Moreau and Claude Girard and Gabriel Moreau. Richard Moreau is the trainer. Brett McDonald with the driving double. It's the fourth win for Blue Monk this year in lifetime. 157-2. The sixth race payouts 3 Blue Monk, $820, $333. For the Devil You Know, $390, $322. Big Monk with Cheese, $250. Dollar High Five, $271.45. $2 exactor, $23.20. Dollar Try, $17.95. The dollar pick for 404, $77.15. The sixth race order finished from the top. 43125 scratch 687. That's 43125 scratch 687.
right, nice steer by Brett McDonald there to get the job done with Blue Monk. And guess what? We're now 5 for 6 on the nights. Been a good start so far. Let's try to keep it rolling. Race number 7. It's the start of the late pick 4, so start mapping out your winning wagers for that one. And we're going to start off with Philly Mare's Claimers, $7,000 for non-winners now of $1,500 last 5. And I went to number 5, Dex the Land in here. 3-1 on the board right now. We're scratched down to just a field of 5. So Dex the Land will leave from post 4. And I just think that it looks like a pretty good spot for this one. Open $8,500 claimer in her last her last bunch of starts really. And last time got beat 22 lengths to Erica Shadow, who won by a wide margin, and then was 4th to if you knew Susie on August the 6th. So there was almost a month between starts, and now gets back into kind of a regular rotation. I mean, she's missed, I guess, a few extra days than a week, but still much better than missing almost a month. And you get now down into this condition claimer level, which is much easier than an open $8,500 claimer. So for me, Dex the Land is the value on the board right now at 7-2. And I do believe that she's probably, I see the 0 for 12, hasn't hit the board this year, but you don't see, many condition claimer lines. You see a lot of lines that are either, tougher condition claimers or open claimers. So I'm happy to risk it here with Dex the Land, and hopefully she breaks through with not only her first top 3 finish of the year, but also her first win of the season. And for second, I went to number 1, Northern Prima, and I just thought this one might give us some value, but now 1-2 on the board. As I say that, famous last words, Rob, famous last words. Looking for some value, boom, 1-2. I just think this looks like a much better spot for this mare. Pole position to work from. And you look at that last one and you say, well, that's a condition claimer last time, Rob. Yeah, but that's the other condition claimer. That's the one for the horses that have been, making money, not the ones with the horses that haven't been making money. So Northern Prima goes from one end of the spectrum to the other. The condition claimers for winners over to now non-winners of. So I think Northern Prima's got a big chance in here. And, maybe that money's telling us something, because I don't think Northern Prima should be 1-2 and will not be at post time, but that's a pretty big hit right here at 2 minutes to post to go down to that low price currently. Number 2, Diamonds or Twine, one that I think you need to consider. Has shown speed in the past, now draws inside. Look at the last post. Post 8 at Clinton, that's a trailer post, interfered with, and inside pylons was disqualified, third placed 8th. But, trailing post 7, post 4, 5, 6. Now you get down to the 2-hole again, and when this filly gets to leave from those spots, you see a lot of early foots. So I think we'll see Diamonds or Twine forwardly placed tonight, and definitely has a chance right now, 3-1. Number 6, Dream a Dream for me, 17-1 on the board. I don't think this mare should be that big of a price. I think she should be more like maybe 6 or 7-1. So if she stays that high, she might be worth a poke as an overlay. But the filly mares are making their way onto the track for race number 7, the first leg of the late pick 4, and we'll come back and talk more with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 7th on parade. 1, Northern Prima, Tom Smith for Darrell Holmes and Gerald Holmes. Number 2, Diamonds or Twine, Robert Shepard for Gary McDonald and Christina Soundy. Number 4, War Diamond, George Ketros for Mary Ketros. Five is Dex the Land, Scott Culver, Sheldon Rose. Number 6, Dream a Dream for me, Nick Stewart for Bernard Wills. Field of 5, race number 7 starts the late pick 4. Let's look at this field. We're going to start with number 5, Dex the Land, and one that has a bit of back class, 25 lifetime wins, but doesn't have a top 3 finish on the year. One thing to note, Rob, also, that September 1st line, then before that, had been off a while, so maybe has an excuse for tiring out in that late going. Now comes back, just at least a little bit better rotation, 12 days between.
Yeah, definitely, and I like that about Dexter Landon here, and also there's no Erica Shadows or Coal Creek Lacey's in here, so I just think this spot looks like a much more favorable field for Dexter Land to face, and I just I look at it and I think a lot of people are going to discredit the fact that there's no victories in 12 starts, but if you look back all over those lines down the page, they're all against what I would consider tougher than what she faces in here. This is a condition claimer, and she hasn't faced this soft a class in quite some time. So Dexter Land for me at 3-1. I can get excited about that price. I just got a bad feeling, Gary, we're going to see a lot of money come in late.
Number 1 Northern Prima has been getting a lot of money, 4-5 on the board. Inside post position, but I don't see a ton of gate speed, although you do see at Hanover at the end of July, post 1 and got away third. Actually, a nice effort. That's the last really a sharp effort. Finished second there. You see one at Georgian wasn't bad, but that's the best top 3 finish Northern Prima had in a while from the inside. 3-5 is too low.
3-5 is too low. I would agree with that. The one thing I will say is that I did put this horse in for second. Reason being, last time here at the River, had post 5, ended up, kind of a respectable finish against Rhythm Sealster, Ma Rebel. We saw those. Ma Rebel came back and raced really well. Black Creek Rosebud was in that race, and this is now the other end of it. That was winners over. This is now non-winners of condition claimers. So I love the class drop on Northern Prima. I love the post right now, though I hate the price.
Number 2 Diamonds or Twine is 2-1 on the board. The last race at Clinton was better. This is one that had been a little bit off form. That last one, now placed back to 8th, but still finished third inside pylons. But if you look at the season overall, this is the only one that you could actually say is having a good season. 8 out of 15 in the top 3. And also is one that we saw fire to the front here at the end of June and Wyra Field here. And Diamonds or Twine, I think could be very competitive in here. Although this is my top one, but right now you're the one with all the winners on the evening and you're on 5 Decks the Lamb. But I do at least think that Diamonds or Twine, you can make a pretty good argument for Diamonds or Twine in here.
I'd agree. And my third choice in the race, and now we're down to only a field of 5, so you'd say, well, you're actually in now the bottom half of it there. But I do think Diamonds or Twine has a good chance, and this looks like a good spot for this filly. So you get an inside post. We know that she has speed, and she's shown it quite a few times in the past here at Grand River, and I'd be shocked if she's not firing off the gate. So 5-2 on the board, I think you would probably look at that and say that's pretty good value compared to both Northern Prima and Dexter Land right now at co-favorite at 8-5.
And number 6, Dream a Dream for me. You're not dreaming if you like this one a little bit in here, because the last time this one had post 5 here was a front end win in 57-2. The only win on the year, 9-1.
And I think this horse is interesting, I'll say, and I wasn't really sure what to make of her. When I was first looking at the race, and I said, okay, well, I figured she'd be probably about 4 or 5-1. Earlier she was double digits. I said, wow, that's a kind of a crazy price, but we're seeing that drop down now to 7-1, so she might get down to the range that she should be. I don't think she's without a chance in here. Not sure what kind of trip she goes tonight, but that's a good form reference you just mentioned, and I wouldn't be shocked to see her get a big piece of it. 8-1 on the board right now, and at that price or higher might be worth it.
Well, Rob, I need a win tonight. I'm getting schooled by you, who's been all over it tonight, and the fans are with you with number 5, Decks the Land at 6-5. I'm on number 2, Diamonds or Twine with Robert Shepard at a little healthier price, 3-1. It is a field of 5 taking up positions. Northern Prima, Diamonds or Twine on the inside, and the center, Ward Diamond to the outside. Decks the Land, Dream, a dream for me. Field of 5, race number 7, and it is post time. Field for the 7th race, reaching the top of the stretch. Here they come. Field for the 7th race. In the stretch approaching the start. And the rough, diamonds are twined, decks the land, and Dream a Dream for Me. Northern Prima's on the inside, and then War Diamond as they work their way into the backstretch. Diamonds are twined is able to grab the early lead. Northern Prima is racing second, decks the land on the pylons third in front of War Diamond, and Dream a Dream for Me is trailing the field. Diamonds are twined, and Robert Shepard's got a lead of about a length and 3/4. Northern Prima tracks along in second. Decks the land is in mid-pack third, then War Diamond, and Dream a Dream for Me trails the field 28 seconds, the opening quarter. Diamonds are twined, and Robert Shepard's got the lead. Advantage is 2 right now over Northern Prima, and Dex the Land is on the inside third. Then War Diamond and Dream a Dream for Me. The field comes off the turn, and they race on towards us. Diamonds are twined. Leads the charge up to the half with Northern Prima in tow in the pocket, but 2 1/4 back off a 28-second opening quarter. Halftime was 57-1. Northern Prima second, getting up a little closer in the pocket. Next, the land is on the inside third. In front of War Diamond and Dream a Dream for Me. It is Diamonds are twined, trying to make every call a winning one. Northern Prima racing second. Dex the Land is third and is at 3 1/4 from the front. Then it is War Diamond and back to Dream a Dream for Me. Diamonds are twined, racing on to 3/4 and popping out of the pocket right now will come Northern Prima. And 3/4, 126-4. And Dex the Land now gets to drop down to the inside and saves him ground on the turn and is going to scoot up a little bit closer. It is Diamonds are twined. Northern Prima and Dex the Land, and then War Diamond and Dream a Dream for Me. They turn for home. Diamonds are twined on down the stretch drive. Diamonds are twined. Diamonds are twined with a gem of an effort to win. Northern Prima was second. Dex the Land in a show photo with up the inside War Diamond, 157-2. Diamonds are twined. Rob went to the front and then just kept right on trucking.
Yeah, one that, we go down to those bottom lines and we see that speed. And, Robert Shepard called up on that early foot tonight, and it was race over. It really was. So, a nice effort from Diamonds are twined, and you got a top pick down, right? A nice price of 5-2, Gary.
Yeah, I'm not saying much because I'm way behind you. But look I'll tell you, Northern Prima actually raced really well because I kind of thought that Dex the Land would get by Northern Prima after Northern Prima had worked to the outside, but Northern Prima was able to hold on to second.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you look at it and you say, if Diamonds are twined, who's a dominant winner, isn't in there, then Northern Prima, probably wins pretty easily because, it's had a nice 2-hole trip. And I think that Tom Smith just wanted to have a lot of racetrack and real estate to run that one down. It just wasn't happening tonight. Diamonds are twined came to play, and maybe we should have. I know you saw it. I should have seen that last effort as maybe an indication that this one was rounding back into form because it was a good effort at Clinton to finish third, and then it kind of gets hidden when you get placed eighth. So coming back to Grand River, we've seen this one race well here in the past, and you get a nice price down at 5-2 with both Northern Prima and Dex the Land taking all the money.
It ends up being a 2-1-5-4 top 4 in race number 7 as it's Diamonds are twined in 157-2. Back in front of us, the 7th race winner, 2 Diamonds are twined, a 3-year-old better than Cheddar Bay filly, owned by Christina Saudi and Gary McDonald. Gary is the trainer. Robert Shepard, the winning driver. 4th win this year, 5th lifetime. Diamonds are twined, 157-2. The 7th race payouts, number 2 Diamonds are twined, $7.90, $2.80, $2.10. 1 Northern Prima, $3, $2.10. 5 Dex the Land, $2.10. Dollar pick 3, $66.80. $2 exactor, $14.90. Dollar try, $12.55. Dollar superfecta, $24.05. The seventh race order finish from the top to 2-1 scratch 435. That's 2-1 scratch 435.
All right. Well, Diamonds or Twine gets the job done in race number 7. The first leg of that late pick 4 wager gives Gary Guy his third winner on the evening. But now we turn the page to race number 8. Filly Mares, non-winners of 15,000 lifetime. And well, in here, I went to number 4, a Black Diamond, right now at 1-5 on the board. Don't like the price. Don't like the price. I can tell you that. But I do like the filly. She had the trailing post last time. Ended up going first over in a race that was won by Winston Gaga, and I thought that the winner was really good on that occasion. So I can kind of do a little bit of ABC handicapping here and say, well, I think the Black Diamond should be pretty good now. In the follow-up effort, 2 really nice races over at Georgian Downs before that, and some solid efforts here at Grand River. I see all the cappers are on board, so maybe I'm crazy for thinking the price should be higher than 1-5, but I would have thought, maybe even money to 8-5 would be a range that would be, I guess, somewhat acceptable for number 4, a Black Diamond here in race number 8. And for second, though, I did go to number 1, Sophia Lolita, and I thought I'd be lone wolfing it with this horse in the second spot, but I see Ontario Racing and Gary Guy both agree with me. So 3 of us are on this one for second, and right now she's sitting at 9-1 on the board, and 0 for 16 on the season, 5 top 3 finishes, though. And, Sophia Lolita is an interesting one because I kind of, saying last time in that one's a 35,000 life that maybe this is one to look at the ticket at a big price. Now this is a much easier spot, and she was facing so much tougher before that. And I really think this mare has some talent, and one that I actually was all over in the Horse Players Journal at Mohawk Park earlier in the season. So I would not be able to, ignore her in here at 10-1 and against much, much softer than where I was actually picking her over that oval. So Sophia Lolita, one that I think has a chance in here, 9-1 on the board right now. That's a good price. Number 5, Black Betty, one that has transitioned to this class and raced pretty well, finished second 2 starts back, and then, went overland to finish 5th last time. Kind of a tough trip horse, really, overland journeys and in her last 4 efforts. And I don't usually like ones that go from the condition claiming ranks then into non-winners of 15,000 life, but this one's raced, pretty decent at this level in her last 2, and 2-1 on the board right now. I figured she'd probably be between 2-1 and 5-2. Second choice to a Black Diamond. Number 7, I'm Sierra. I'm sure Gary's going to correct me on that one. I think it's I'm Sierra. I think it's I'm Sierra. Number 7, I'm Sierra, 6-1 right now. And I hate the post, obviously, but I like the fact that, she's getting away from that non-winners of 2 class at Georgian Downs, which sometimes comes up a little bit tougher. And 7-1 on the board is not the worst price. You get Steve Byron now. with his son Aaron not aboard tonight. But I do think that this one has a bit of a chance, especially to land somewhere on the ticket. 7-1 is probably the price you'd have to get, or higher if you wanted to bet her to win. But for me, I'll stick with the Black Diamond on top, but don't sleep on number 1, Sophia Lolita, one that I think is going to jump up with a pretty big effort. And this looks like a good spot for her to do it. We'll come back and talk about the Filly Mares and Race and Rate a little further with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field for the 8th on Parade 1, Sophia Lolita, Doug Brown for Mike Wade, and Anna-Marie Colville and Ken Glass. Number 2 up, the credit with Art dropping down for Jacob Murray and Jim Wilson. And number 3 is Delamos, Anthony Hahn for Cassandra LaCour and Andre Perot. 4 is a Black Diamond, Colin Kelly for Kyle Boston and Brad Gray. 5 is Black Betty, Steve Houdon for Daniel Meade. Number 6, Our Dying Gracie, Tom Smith for Daryl Holmes and Gerald Holmes. Number 7, I'm Kiara, Steve Byron for Aaron Byron and Warren Casely. And there is number 2 up the credit with Art. Brett McDonough for Jacob Murray and Jim Wilson. 8 is Seal the Dark. Travis Cullen for Cassidy Schneider and Colonel Schneider Jr. And is on in front of us now. Shall we get a look at this field? And Rob, we both like the same one on top, and I don't see how we couldn't. Number 4, a Black Diamond, I think has shown us plenty. And now with a spot on the gate, and it's Colin Kelly and Kyle Boston's, I expect a pretty big effort here.
Yeah, I would agree, Gary. And, I think you just hit the nail on the head, trailing post last time. And, usually that ends up getting, you're going to get away probably 3rd, 4th, or 5th, even if you're well spotted. And where does that leave you, right? It leaves you first over. And now nose on the gate. I think we're going to see this one firing out of there and shouldn't have to worry about going a parked trip tonight for much of the mile. And even money on the board, I'd be hoping for 6-5 or 7-5 on this one, but you're probably right. We might not see it because she does stand out here.
And number 4, a Black Diamond, also that the second last one at Georgian Downs, the last one at Georgian, the second last start. That was a really fine mile, 53-4, and in against tougher than what she faces here. Number 1, Sophia Lolita. Drops a level, and I think can be very strong. Went to the front July the 31st at Georgian Downs, and a pretty darn nice mile of 55-1, and that was in against some good ones. Sophia Lolita on the inside at 6-1. I think it'd be a trip horse, Rob.
I think so too. I think she's got the ability where she might be able to push out, and I think the worst she gets away is probably 3rd, and maybe even better than that. And her 2 victories in her career I thought were extremely impressive, and I thought she was going to pan out to be, a pretty nice horse. And now we're 0 for 16 this year and 5 in the money, but you're not going to find an easier spot for her, really. And, last time she was facing numbers of 35,000 life. Now you're numbers of 15,000 life. That's a pretty big difference. So, finished 5th, beating only 3 lengths against that group. And I think she should get every chance here to get a big piece of it. Taking support, though, at 6-1.
There's number 5, Black Betty. And I've seen some pretty nice things from this one. A win at Georgian in 54, but also that race here, 2 races go here in 55-4, was in position at the top of the stretch. Now did get caught in the lane, but still it was a pretty solid effort. Black Betty is 9-5, getting a lot of love. Probably bet too hard, but still should be a contender in here.
Yeah, she typically does get support. 2 back you see 12-1, but she took money last time, ended up finishing 5th, and 4 starts back she took similar money to go off at a short price of 7-5 and finished in that same spot in a condition claimer over at Georgian Downs. So she's an interesting one. She's one that can rough it. She's showing that it doesn't matter. She can go park the route and come first over even. So I think that she's one that you have to respect in here. I just don't know if I get too excited at betting her to win at 2-1.
Number 7, I'm Kiata, and Steve Byron for Aaron Byron. 3 wins on the year, 5 top 2s and 12 starts. Tough post assignment, but also is one that does show some decent speed and actually some pretty good form if you look at the past 4 races.
So it's I'm Kiara?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds so much better when you say it, Gary. You know what? 8-1, and I looked at this one, and I kept trying to get to this one to maybe be one you could go look at for a bomb in here. And then I just said, you know what? How does this trip go for her? I don't understand, really what kind of trip she's going to go. And I like the fact that she's making the move over from Georgian Downs here to Grand River. I hate the fact that she's got post 7. So I think that you look at her form and say she should match up well against this group. I just wish she drew, the inside 4 spots, because we know that post 7 sometimes can put you out in no man's land.
And Rob, don't be surprised if 2 Up the Credit with Art races better than you might think. Moves up, but we've seen a couple of good miles with this one with Jacob Murray of late, and seems to be improving. Is in tougher, but has some gate speed also.
Yeah, 14-1, and I do kind of knock this one for the move up in class, but you're right. Jacob Murray has this one trending in the right direction, and sometimes when you see that in a horse, they actually make pretty big leaps forward. So I can get on board with Up the Credit with Art being one to land somewhere on the ticket at a big price.
At 14-1 right now. It's a field of 8. It's race number 8, taking up their positions. Sophia Lolita, Up the Credit with Art and Delabos. In the center, a Black Diamond and Black Betty. To the outside, Art and Gracie, I'm Kiata, and Seal the Dark. It's a field of 8, and it's race number 8. Here they come. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
Field for the 8th race. In the stretch drive, here they come. They're at the start of the rough. Up the Credit with Art and a Black Diamond, leaving Sophia Lolita down to the inside, and Black Betty, and then Delabos and Ardine Gracie, and then I'm Kiara and Seal the Dark. They race into the backstretch. Up the Credit with Art had the lead, but charging is a Black Diamond. A Black Diamond is going to come on now and get the front, and Up the Credit with Art is right there filling the pocket. Sophia Lolita forwardly placed 3rd. Black Betty is racing 4th, and then it is back to Delabos and Ardine Gracie. I'm Kiara, and then Seal the Dark is trailing the field. They work on past the opening quarter in 28 seconds. A Black Diamond has the front. That lead is a length and a half over right now. Up the Credit with Art at 24-1 in the pocket. Sophia Lolita is racing 3rd, and Black Betty is 4th, and then Delamos and Ardine Gracie. I'm Kiata, and Seal the Dark trailing the field. On up to the half they come. A Black Diamond and Colin Kelly off a 28-second opening quarter. Halftime recorded in 58 seconds, 30-second second panel. Up the Credit with Art is right there staying in the pocket, studying a Black Diamond, the 3-5 favorite. Now popping to the outside, Black Betty. And on the inside, Sophia Lolita. Delamos is getting a little closer to the outside now and is moving up and taking over fair. Ardine Gracie, I'm Katiara on the outside, and then it is back to Seal the Dark, and they race on to 3/4, and it is a Black Diamond who still has the lead. A Black Diamond, and on the outside, Black Betty, but now on the inside. Up the Credit with Art reclaims second. His nose to helmet right there in the pocket. 3 wide comes Delamar, and then it is Black Betty, and on the inside, Sophia Lolita. Then I'm Kiara, and on the inside, Ardine Gracie. Seal the Dark trailing the field. 3/4, 127. A Black Diamond continues on. A Black Diamond still is sharp to the finish. And then Delamos is going to pick up second. Sophia Lolita 3rd. And Ardine Gracie up the inside 4th. 156-4. Black Diamond 3-5. But the tilt board was right and got the lead and then just kept on going. We've seen that before.
Yeah, easiest kind of winner tonight for a Black Diamond. Kyle Boston and Colin Kelly, connections that you can bet with confidence here at Grand River or really anywhere, and really warranted that 3-5 respect on the end of it. And Delamos getting up for second, a little bit of a surprise for me. And it's funny. I actually put some question marks in the program on that one, and first start for the Cassandra Lacourte barn and racing for the mark. So, one that probably could have got to there, but didn't, unfortunately. And Sophia Lolita kind of got caught in the 3-hole, had pace in the stretch, and I think that's one we got to tap for next time, Gary.
And number 6, Ardine Gracie at 20-1 to round it out. So we get a 23-1 and a 20-1 ticket onto the ticket to help the Black Diamond, who doesn't help it at 3-5 on top. But a Black Diamond really was the story in there. And then Colin Kelly also 58 to the half is just about right. 32nd second panel, 56 and 4 mile. Too tough to be beaten in there.
Yeah, well-rated mile by Colin Kelly, and we see him do that, pretty often here at Grand River. Get out to the lead, and you're hard-pressed to find many who can get off the horse off the gate as well as Colin Kelly, that's for sure.
Coming back in front of us is the winner of race number 8. It's number 4. Black Diamond, a 3-year-old better than Cheddar Brown filly. Brad Gray is the owner. Kyle Boston's the winning trainer. And the winning drive to Colin Kelly. It's the second win this year, second lifetime. A Black Diamond, 156 and 4. Eighth race. Payouts for a Black Diamond, 340, 250, 253 Delabos, 10, 30, and 550 and 1. Sophia Lolita, 350. $2 exactor, $48.40. $40 try, $79.45. And the dollar superfecta, $326.45. Eighth race order finish from the top, 352-18467. That's 352-18467.
All right, well, Black Diamond dominant in race number 8. And time flies when you're having fun, kids. Race 9 already, which means your last chance to play a multi-leg wager in the late double. And for this one, we got Horse and Geldings. The claiming price is $15,000. The condition is non-winners of $45,000 life. And well, I couldn't go against one in here because it's a horse that I've been fond of a few times this season here at the River, and well, he's really on a roll right now. Number 2, Lobel Bruiser, 1-2 on the board right now, and I mean the price is short, but you can't really dispute it, can you? Because you look at those last 4 starts, and won 2 in a row, both late victories, one by a head, one by a nose, and that one at Georgian Downs 3 back looked very improbable. I would say even in mid-stretch before getting up the inside late, and then win a real tough trip. 2 back, only got beat half a length on the wire, and then went right down the road from post 2 last time and did the old jiggy jog, easiest kind of winner. And now you get Colin Kelly back on the bike, back with the same post again, and no surprise, all 4 handicappers say, "Yep, it's Lobel Bruiser's race to lose," and I'm definitely on board with that. I just don't like the price of 1-2. Never like the price of 1-2, but sometimes when you play against those types here, you're just chasing the inevitable. So I think Lowell Bruiser is the best in here, and I think he's one that's at the top of his game. 5 for 16 on the year, and 3 of those wins came in his last 4. So it just shows you that he's come into his own this season. And should be tough to beat again tonight. Number 5, Rock and Twist. Last time, had a good trip. Behind Lobel Bruiser and wasn't able to get to him. Ended up finishing 3rd, beating 2.5 lengths, and never really was in doubt of reeling that one in. So I do think Rock and Twist, though, might be able to have a better effort this time around because back in on a regular rotation, missed 3 weeks going into that latest effort, so should be tighter tonight, and maybe with a better effort can propel himself into second or maybe even challenge that one. 5-1 on the board, not a bad price on number 5, Rock and Twist. Number 3, Money or Roses. This is an interesting one for me because I don't know. I was a fan of this horse, earlier on when racing here, and ended up finishing 8th. Went parked a long way, and didn't really have many solid efforts here in Ontario. Then went out, to Charlottetown. Raced okay to be second the one start. Came back over here, and didn't really do much in a race at Flamborough Downs. But this might be a better spot for Money or Roses, and I just think that when you have to consider in here now in a condition claimer from post 3, 7-1 on the board, I'd say that price is probably about the right price, and you'd have to get that or maybe a minimum 6-1 to fire away on number 3, Money or Roses. Number 6, A Better Man, was racing at Mohawk Park, and the condition claimer there now gets to I would say softer company here at Grand River, if not maybe even much softer company. Before that was a non-winners of 3. So he's the kind of the X factor for me in here. 10-1 on the board right now. That's some value on A Better Man. I just don't like the fact that hasn't shown much resistance, in his last effort, and I know he's had a little bit of traffic trouble in a couple of those starts and was a winner at Georgian Downs, 3 down, but outside post in here. It's only post 6, but it's still the outermost post in the field. So 6-1, maybe worth a look. But for me, I'm sticking with number 2, Lobel Bruiser, 3-5 on the board. Tough to swallow on a win ticket, but you can always maybe play a double off them or play some exotics. But the horses are moving out onto the track for the 9th race of the evening, and we'll come back and talk about it more with Gary Guy after the post parade.
Field for the 9th on parade. 1 custom cut. Travis Cullen for Gary McDonald and Christina Soundy. Number 2 is Lobel Bruiser, Cullen Kelly for Vern Cochran and Leonard Van Veen. Number 3 is Money of Roses, Robert Shepard for Patrick Shepard and Robert Woodburn. Five is Rock and Twist, Brian Panana for Richard Moreau and Michelle Baril and Gabriel Morrow and Frederick Baril. And number 6, A Better Man, Austin Soria for Mitchell Tierney and Jim Maxwell Racing. And 4 Cav Marvelous, Bruce Richardson for Bruce Gilkinson. Field of 6, race number 9. Let's get a look at this field, and well, we're going to start at the most obvious place. Last race, Rob, we were on the favorite and didn't disappoint, and I think we're going to have the same outcome here because I don't see Lobel Bruiser getting beaten, although I don't think it's quite as clear-cut as the last race, but still, 5 wins and 16 starts on the year, 3 in the last 4 races, really rolling right now, even money.
Yeah, he's come into his own, and in that last effort, 2 starts back, was a big effort to only get beat half a length, and he almost got there in that one as well. It would have been 4 in a row, and just a horse right now that should be brimming with confidence. He looks good on the track, and it's just hard to imagine him getting beaten here from post 2 again. Colin Kelly, we see how he can get these horses off the gate, does well with Lobel Bruiser off the switch, and should be pushing out of there. And 6-5 on the board. The price is actually floating north right now, and if it stays at that or even a tick higher, I would say that's actually value on number 2, Lobel Bruiser.
6-5 on the board right now. Let's go shopping and see where the other ones stack up. Number 5, Rock and Twist. That last race wasn't bad, but I kind of expected a little bit more. But this is one that hits the board really often, and I've seen enough positives to still think this one should have a chance to be somewhere on the ticket.
Yeah, 5 of 18 in the win column, and you're looking at 14 out of 18 on the board, and that's what he did last time. He finished 3rd, and I just like the fact that now he gets in back on a regular rotation, and missed 3 weeks going into his latest, and made the transition over here to Grand River. So now you get the 2nd consecutive start here, and back in a regular rotation. So I think there's a lot of positives working for Rock and Twist, but I didn't see a horse that was really strong enough compared to Lobel Bruiser that I would say that with all that he's going to beat him this time. Just took a big hit down to 2-1. But for me, I would say, now I can say he'll be propelled into 2nd in here and have to, maybe settle for the runner-up spot to Lobel Bruiser. But, who knows, Gary? Maybe this one has a chance at the upset.
Number 3, Money of Roses. I'm not with you on Money of Roses, but I do see where you're coming from. Excellent mile 3 races ago in Charlottetown. But still, overall, Money of Roses, 6-1, I think need to be a higher price.
The form here, I would say in Ontario leaves a little to be desired. And the only thing that I was looking at was, I don't want to knock him for that start at Grand River. I know he had the pole position. I'm pretty sure I might have put him on top that night. Or at worst, I had him picked for 2nd, but that's against non-winners of 30,000 life. Now, you'd say, well, yeah, Robbie still finished 8th, beaten 9, and, tried to make a move at one point and couldn't really compete with them. But, now you're back in the condition claiming ranks. He did try that similar class over at Georgian Downs, got a share of it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him hit the ticket in here. And, 6-1 on the board, like I said, I would say that's probably the threshold for me. You'd have to get that price or more if you wanted to fire away for a win ticket.
I think number 6, A Better Man, could be dangerous. Drops in class. If you go a little further back, August the 3rd was second to St. Lad's Beat It by a length and a quarter. Very good measuring stick. And then also won in that non-winners of 3 class at Georgian Downs in 53 and 2. A Better Man, last race wasn't great, or even the one before it, but drops and could pop. 4-1.
He was the intriguing one for me. I was trying to figure out what to do with him, and I finally said, well, you know what, I'll put him in the 4th spot. And, I was thinking, what's his price going to be? I thought it'd be higher than 3-1. Did not expect the 12-1 that he was a little earlier on. But, he's one that, if he ever comes off with one of his better efforts, I mean, he might, leave this field in his dust. But I do think that, Lowell Bruiser's a pretty difficult opponent for him. And I think it depends on the trip, really, for A Better Man. He's showing flashes of speed in the past. I'm not sure he can get around this group because I think there is a little bit of foot inside of him, even other than Lowball Bruiser. But I wouldn't call someone crazy if they said they were going to bet him in here just strictly on the class relief alone.
And boy, did you ever jump off of Kev Marvelous in a big way. You liked this one last time out. Had been off a while. Now it comes back 7 days later. Nowhere to be found in your top 4. My second choice, I think Kev Marvelous could be a lot better tonight.
And 2 big angles working for him. The last horse that Gary mentions and the Robert off angle. So, yikes, he might take a hit now, Gary.
12-1 on the board. We'll see. But I do think that 2 Lowbell Bruiser at even money, I don't like the price, but I think we both agree that's the one to beat here, and it will be tough for someone to take down Lowbell Bruiser. It's Custom Cut and Lowbell Bruiser on the inside. Money of Roses and Kev Marvelous in the center. The outside, Rock and Twist and A Better Man. It is a field of 6 for the 9th race. Field for the 9th race is at the start of the round. Lowbell Bruiser, Kev Marvelous, and A Better Man. And on the inside, Custom Cut. Then it is Money of Roses and Rock and Twist. The field works on around that first turn, and A Better Man is still charging on the outside. A Better Man is out in the 3-wide path. Down to the inside is Lowbell Bruiser. And Kev Marvelous now is going to find a seat to the inside. Forwardly placed 3rd. And now taking back A Better Man. Wants to find a seat, but that seat's got to be filled by Kev Marvelous on the back of Lowbell Bruiser. It is Lowbell Bruiser, Kev Marvelous, and A Better Man does find a seat now, and better than 3 of them, racing 3rd. Custom Cut is 4th, and then Money of Roses and Rock and Twist. It is Lowbell Bruiser at 3-5. Kev Marvelous at 9-1 will sit the pocket, and A Better Man is racing 3rd. Then Custom Cut is 4th. Then on the inside, Money of Roses, and popping to the outside is Rock and Twist. Lowbell Bruiser 26-4 the opening quarter. And Kev Marvelous rides the pocket. The half was 56. A 29-1 second panel breather for Colin Kelly and Lowbell Bruiser. Kev Marvelous rides the pocket. Custom Cut to the outside. A Better Man is racing on the inside and dropping back as Rock and Twist now takes over 4th. A Better Man is racing 5th. And then Money of Roses. It is still Lowbell Bruiser. Off the 56 half, leading as they race on to 3/4. Kev Marvelous is up a little tighter on the pocket. And Custom Cut, Rock and Twist on the inside. Money of Roses, and A Better Man has dropped out of it. 3/4, 125-1. Lowbell Bruiser, Custom Cut, and on the inside, Kev Marvelous has reclaimed 2nd. Rock and Twist is rocking 3rd now. Then Custom Cut and Money of Roses, they turn for home. Lowbell Bruiser and Kev Marvelous on down the stretch drive. It is Lowbell Bruiser. Lowbell Bruiser is going to win. Kev Marvelous was 2nd, beaten a length and a half, and then it is Money of Roses and Rock and Twist. 155 flat. Lowbell Bruiser, Colin Kelly. It's kind of a repeat of the last race, being the best and going to the front.
Yeah, and how good is Lowbell Bruiser right now? 26-4 in a condition claimer $15,000 level, non-winners of $45,000 life. That is a big time opening quarter, and it was not.
Certainly wasn't going to beat Lowbell Bruiser, but left really well, looked a lot more eager, and actually hung tough because that was a big mile, 55, and the early action I thought maybe might drop out of it, but stuck around.
Yeah, no, I deserved it. I deserved the chirping. You're right, because I go on a horse when he's off time and then go off him when he's back in on a regular rotation. But You got the ice cold exacta, so a nice one for you to lock down there with Kev Marvelous. Going to add some value to it for sure in the second spot.
Well, I had to find something to chirp you about because you've had all the winners this evening, and I don't know. I think you're at something. What is that? 7?
Maybe 7. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, you're right. It's 7. It's been a solid night tonight, Gary.
7 is not bad out of 9, I think. But back in front of us is number 2, Lobel Bruiser. Lobel Bruiser is a 4-year-old Believe in Bruiser Bay gelding, owned by Leonard Van Veen and Vern Cochran. Vern Cochran's the trainer, Colin Kelly, with back-to-back driving wins, taking races 8 and 9. Mile of 155 flat. Lobel Bruiser. It's the 6th win this year and the 7th lifetime. Ninth race payout to Lobel Bruiser, 340, 270, 220. 4 Kev Marvelous, 560, 273. Money of Roses, 320. $2 exactor, 24.60. Dollar try, 67.90. Dollar superfecta, 108.15. Ninth race order finish from the top. 5-1, 3-2, 4-6. That's 5-1, 3-2, 4-6.
All right. Well, Lowball Bruiser just keeps on winning. Got it done again in race number 9. Now we've made it to the final race of the evening. Had some laughs tonight. Had some winners, 7 and 9 for your boy RJR. Can't speak now. Well, the Blue Jays too are winning 8-0. So for you Blue Jays fans, Jays are looking good as well. So hopefully we can finish off strong here in the last race. It is the Super High Five, or as Gary likes to call it, the Pentafecta. And always a good chance to maybe lock down a big ticket on your way out in the finale this evening. And we've got Horse and Geldings, preferred 3. So those races are always fun. And I think the inside of the gate is where you want to be in this race this evening. But oddly enough, I didn't go to number 1, Brave World. And I thought this one's been racing really well in this preferred 3. A pair of runner-up finishes, 2 back. He did it to Casimir Richie P all the way from the 8-hole. And last time to Outlaw Grabbing Gears. But I went to number 2, Big Mock. And I just thought I'd give this one a whirl. You know, September 7th at Flamborough Downs over a sloppy track that was 2 seconds off and a, upper condition race there. This one, went coast to coast from the pole position and looked pretty good doing it. And, you figure in the track variant on that occasion, mile was a much better mile than what it kind of appears on paper. So I just think that, Big Mock would be the value of the 2, but I was not expecting, 17-1, and I don't think we'll see that come post time. This horse should be a much lower price than that, and I was thinking maybe more like 6-5 versus 8-5 or 9-5, but I guess we'll see the closer we get to the word go. But Big Mock is my top pick. Number 1, Brave World, is my second choice. Number 3, Modern Rock, is an interesting one because, makes a transition from Mohawk Park and was in non-winners of, 6,100. That's non-winners of 5,000 last 5 class usually. And didn't really get much last time in there. Wild River Bumblebee is a pretty nice horse. That was the winner. And, the claiming rank races there probably match up decently against this group. I can't get to Modern Rock as my top pick. 1 for 23 on the season. 2-1 on the board to me is just way too short on Modern Rock, but I did put this one in the 3rd spot. And you can see I'm keeping it to the inside with the 2-1-3 so far. And then guess where I'm going in the 4th spot? The 4, Better Be Gouda. Finished 3rd last time in this class, just in behind Brave World. Went an overland journey and a tough trip really to then claim the show spot. And, before that, 2 victories, one at Kawartha Downs, one here at Grand River in a much easier class, and 17-1 on the board right now on Better Be Gouda. That might be, the value next to number 2, Big Mock. And I do think this is a race that's going to be contested by the inside horses and maybe my 5th pick, the Trailing Post. And, see, Gary's going to probably like it tonight because last time I said I had the inside horses, I went with the inside 5, and he said, well, you left out the Trailing Post. Not this time, Gary. Number 9, Premier Joy. I threw this one in the 5th spot. If you like the 1, and you got to like Brave World in here, you got to like the 9 a little bit, Premier Joy. So I think he can get away well enough from that Trailing Post that he can sit a nice trip and then get a piece of it. I think 40-1 is just way too big of a price on Premier Joy, who finished 4th in this class last time from this very post. So for me, it is about Big Mock on top, but I do think that him and Brave World, Brave World's the one to beat. I'll try Big Mock and hope the value stays there. But we'll come back and talk about this Super High 5 race and our nightcap with Gary Guy after the post break.
Field 4, race number 10 on parade 1, Brave World, Travis Henry for Harry Polton and the stable. Number 2 is Big Mock, Travis Cullen for Jody Cullen. 3 is Modern Rock, wrapping down for Richard Moreau and Mike Romanelli. Number 4, Better Gouda, Scott Kohler for Blake McIntosh and Leanne Murphy. And 5, St. Lad's Beat It, Anthony Hunt for Jeffrey Williamson and Rebecca Williamson. Number 6 is Good and Sweet, Colin Kelly for Steve Colvin. And there is a look at number 8, Freddie Bear, Jason Ryan for Numbered Company. 9 is Premier Joy, Eddie Hensley for Ashley Hensley. And note that number 7 is Homie Joe, Mark McQuarrie for Angus McQuarrie. Let's get a look at this field for the 10th race of field of 9. We'll start with number 2, Big Mock, now down to 5-1 on the board. Well, Rob, I like the idea. You've got 7 wins on the night, so you're playing with house money and not trying the favorite here. Big Mock, it's the 3rd start off of missing some time, and that last one was fine. Might handle the step up pretty nicely.
I think so. I looked at that race and watched that replay, and the more I watched it, the more impressed I was. And I think you just really hit another note on this one, Gary, is that it was only the 2nd start back. So, for me, the old school logic was always you want to be on a horse 3rd start back, and horse race fantastic 2nd start back. Yeah, people are gonna say, yeah, I had to rail both those efforts, but yeah, now it's post 2 and lots of early speed, and I don't know if he can outlead Brave World, and even if he can't, though, should be able to drop in behind him. So I just think Big Mock is the better value play of the two. I'm a little bit shocked, though, the discrepancy is 9-5 versus 9-2.
Number 1, Brave World, is probably the logical one in here. August the 9th here against the preferred 2 was able to wire the field, leaving from post 4 after being parked to the quarter, 53 2 mile. Brave World, 11 out of 21 in the top 2.
Yeah, the one to beat, I think, I do agree that he's a logical one in here. And if you look at those last 2, what did he do wrong? Nothing. He finished 2nd to the dominant horse in both those races. Casimir Richie P. crushed. Outlaw Grabbing Gears crushed. So now you say, well, those 2 were, he doesn't have to face those 2 this time. Maybe he's the boss now. But what happens if the new face, Big Mock, now turns into one of those, the efforts that those 2 put forth. So I think that, Brave World is the one to beat, has the pole position to work from. 2-1 on the board right now is probably more like the price I think he should be.
Number 3, Modern Rock, was racing well before that last race and showing some pretty good speed. In fact, almost won, 51 3 second, beaten half a length, parked every step at Mohawk 2 races ago. Modern Rock, I think, is a must-use somewhere on the ticket, 7-1.
Yeah, 2nd start for Richard Moreau with this one. So, maybe, it's a case of it going to be better for the 2nd start for New Connections. They've had a start with them, and that was a pretty difficult group, really. Wild River Bumblebee is a nice horse, and overall that field was pretty strong. So I think that Modern Rock is not out of place in here. I just look at it and say, well, I don't think he can outleave the inside 2. Probably end up with a 3-hole trip or a 4-hole trip. If you can ever find a helmet, though, he's got a big chance.
Better Be Gouda last time out was 3rd behind Outlaw Grabbing Gears and Brave World. That's a pretty good measuring stick, 21-1.
And got the worst of the trip in there. He really did. Like compared to Brave World, I would say he got the worst of the trip. And 25-1 to me doesn't make sense because Better Be Good is one that's in good form right now. I mean, he won 2 in a row before his last and finished 3rd in this class last time, and only went off at 8-1 from the 3-hole. So I'm not sure what's changed all of a sudden from one week to the next, where you say he should be 25-1 this week. So. If I was playing high 5 tickets, I'd say, well, maybe I make him the centerpiece somewhere in the middle, in the 3rd and 4th spot, because I think he should get a share of it.
Number 9, Premier Joy. If you like the 1, you got to like the 9, but also you can like the 2. So there's definitely going to be some speed on the inside. Premier Joy is 30-1.
Yeah, that price surprised me as well. And I guess St. Lad's Beat is taking support. And I understand why. I like that horse, and he's a high percentage winner. I just, not so sure. How it works out tonight for that one. I know his one start in this preferred, he had the 8-hole, got away poorly. But, Premier Joy to me is one that should get away well and might get a pretty favorable trip. And if he gets that, he should be able to fire enough in the stretch to land on the high 5 and, create some value right now down to 25-1. But, we often see, when horses at prices land in that 3rd spot or even the 4th spot, and it's not too chalky up top, that it pays pretty well. So, and as we say this, Gary, he drops down to 15-1.
And there is number 5, St. Lad's Beat It. I couldn't leave this one off the ticket. In fact, I used him for 2nd behind Brave World. I'm much more bold on St. Lad's Beat It in here. Comes back 9 days later after that last one. Missed some time and yet won after missing time. And a couple big miles at Georgian Downs, July 27th and August 3rd.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the horse. I am. St. Lad's beat it. Nice winner last time at Sarnia, and probably, maybe a misstep of me to leave him out. But I kept thinking in my head, well, I'm going to go with inside numbers again. And if I go with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as my top 5, Gary is going to give me, heck for not using the 9 because I'm using the 1. So, I'm making an excuse now.
Well, it's more important not to get heck from me than to be right. I can see the logic in that. 5 St. Lad's Beat It is currently sitting at 6-1. Field for the 10th race. Brave World, Big Mock, and Modern Rock on the inside. In the center, Better Be Good and St. Lad's Beat It. To the outside, Good and Sweet and Homie Joe and Freddie Bear. The second tier. On the inside, Premier Joy. It's a field of 9 for the 10th race. Here they come. Field for the 10th dash. Gathering speed approaching the start. There at the start of the rough. Big Mock will leave Brave World on the inside. Modern Rock and St. Lad's Beat It and Premier Joy's along to the inside. But right now it is Brave World who's got the lead. Premier Joy is out well from the trailing post to take second. Big Mock third. Then racing fourth is Modern Rock, and then it's Better Be Good and St. Lad's Beat It. Then Good and Sweet and Homie Joe and Freddie Bear trails the field. Brave World at 4-5's got the lead right now for Travis Henry. And the advantage is to Premier Joy, racing second at 25-1. Then third in line is Big Mock, and then it is Modern Rock and Better Be Good and St. Lad's Beat It. Good and Sweet and Homie Joe and Freddie Bear, 27-3 the opening quarter. And Brave World's got the lead for Travis Henry, leading Premier Joy by a length and 3/4 with Big Mock to the inside third. As they race off the turn, off that 27-3 opening quarter, they come to the half, and now Modern Rock is going to move on the outside. Then Better Be Good of St. Lad's Beat It. Good and Sweet and Homie Joe and Freddie Bear. 57-1 is the halftime. 29-3 second panel. It is Brave World, the 4-5 favorite who's got the lead. But braving it first up is Modern Rock, and Premier Joy is the trip horse on the inside. And then Better Be Good is racing second over fourth. Big Mock to the inside. St. Lad's Beat It gets up a little bit closer. Then Good and Sweet and Homie Joe and Freddie Bear is lagging way back, trailing the field. 57-1/2, and they head up to 3/4. And St. Lad's Beat It is coming on hard now. 3/4, 125-2. Brave World and Modern Rock and St. Lad's Beat It. Racing for this Better Be Good, and then Premier Joy, and then Big Mock and Homie Joe. They turn for home. It is Brave World and St. Lad's Beat It as they come on down the stretch ride. Brave World on the inside. St. Lad's Beat It up the inside goes Modern Rock through across the track. Brave World is going to win. St. Lad's Beat It in a photo with Modern Rock for second, and then Better Be Good 154-2. Brave World was plenty brave in the 10th race and was able to use that post-1 advantage to win, Rob.
Yeah, I got a little bit ambitious, I guess, trying to beat this one, Gary. And Big Mock, I knew right off the gate I was in trouble when that one tried to leave out hard and was not able to get very good position off the wings of the gate. Kind of had pace late in the mile. I was surprised to see that he still had something left at the end there. But obviously, Brave World was pretty good on the front end, and that second quarter certainly helped his chances. But I got to give you some credit. St. Lad's Beat It, one that I left off, and one that you liked in the second spot. That was a nice effort from that one because he was rolling up wide there, and then it looked like he might be able to cross over to get an easier go of it around the last turn, and then Better Be Good kind of punched through to leave him out there wide, but he kept on coming. So definitely one to watch for next time. Number 5, St. Lad's Beat It.
Yeah, he's proved that he belongs with these. And then Brett McDonald gave Modern Rock a decent steer. I mean, had to do the work on the outside, but was able to keep that one pretty alive and finished a very close third, almost got second.
Yeah, I loved what he did there, too, to drop into the 2-hole. He had that awareness to see that Premier Joy couldn't really keep up there, and he dropped down because it let him brave and Modern Rock up and for the stretch drive and certainly helped that one with a better position.
Well, it was the inside post, I believe. 1-5-3-4-2.
And look at that. I throw the 9 in there because last time you gave me heck for leaving him out. But why not blame Gary? I'll blame Gary for this one.
Well, no problem. You still had 7 winners on the night, so I have to hand it to you. But you didn't get the 10th. It was Brave World, 15342. The top five. One Brave World, a 7-year-old Royal Majesty Brown Gelding, owned by the stable, trained by Harry Polton. Travis Henry, the winning driver. It's the fifth win this year. 32nd lifetime. Brave World, 154-2. The 10th race of payouts. One Brave World, 382, 8220. 5 St. Lads beat it, 560 and 360, and 3 Modern Rock, 460. $2 exactor, 26.80. The dollar try, 54.90. The double, 7.20. The dollar pick four, 33.60. Dollar high five, 537.15. The 10th race order finish from the top, 1, 5, 3, 4, 2, 6, 8, 9, 7. That's 1, 5, 3, 4, 2, 6, 8, 9, 7. There was a look at the place photo with St. Lads Beat It finishing second. Well, fans, that does conclude the live harness racing program for this Monday evening. Action resumes on Wednesday. Our first race will go to post at 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Gary.
Good night, Robert, my Goomba.